Hello, I'm Nicholas Jackson.
I'm Luke Roberts.
And I'm Adam Thorne.
And welcome to episode 13, livecast 3 of the Rand Nerds podcast.
God, we've done 3 live.
Everything will go fine. It is episode 13, so I'm sure everything will be fine. Nothing will go wrong.
Don't say that.
We'll be fine.
We're not going to get mauled to death by a hockey mask wearing dude with a machete, are we?
No, I don't think so. No, that's next month.
Right, okay.
I've gone booked in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You managed to get in contact with him then? Cool.
Yeah. He took me it's great to go the fee. It was quite expensive, and the sort of hit that I had to apply was quite in depth, so he may take a while getting to us.
Is he a
he's promised
genuine
he'll be
hockey
here.
goalkeeper in his spare time?
Yes.
Because that would be good.
Oh yes, definitely.
We want a real
He does
professional
it on the side. He does it on the side for us, which is really good.
Just for us?
Just for us, yeah.
That is amazing.
It is. I have contacts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't mess with Nick.
He wears glasses, he's lying. Awful joke, yeah.
Yeah, but
okay.
to be fair, trust me that you do not want to see me without glasses. Now, unfortunately, the audio viewers can't experience this, but those who have two guys of reading and horror.
Can I just say it's absolutely terrifying?
It is. And if you are watching YouTube stream, we've now lost all our viewers.
Because they're all died.
They've all died, yeah. So I'm going to put the glasses back on. I look normal again. Then.
When you take them off, it's like when they open the ark. It's like everybody's faces melt. Like.
Oh, not too far, okay? I'm not that ugly. I am quite ugly, but not quite that ugly.
We never said you were ugly.
No,
We said you were scary.
Yeah, it might well be some sort of hellish beauty.
My nickname, my friend's daughter, her nickname for me is the Gruffalo.
Do you want to explain that to anyone that doesn't know
Right.
what Gruffalo is?
A Gruffalo is this strange. I'll put a link in the show notes. It's like this strange bear slash thing.
Bear slash.
Well, how would you
Thing.
describe it? It's got big
Just says
fangs.
it's fluffy geezer with big teeth.
Pretty much. And what happened was, we actually started. This is gonna be a little story just to get you all in the mood. I was
In the mood, huh?
I was
Ooh.
babysitting. I wasn't meant to be babysitting. I was meant to be lambing, but I ended up babysitting. And his daughter is about 3 years old, and she, for the whole 2 hours I was in charge, she cried non-stop, constantly, never stopped. Then at one point, I got a phone call from a friend of mine at work, and he said to me, "Why can't I hear a baby in the background? I thought you meant to be looking after lambs." I said, "Well, I got promoted to look after the farmer's daughter." And I said to him, "Well, he hasn't stopped crying since I started." And he goes, "Well, that's because you look like the Gruffalo." Well, I didn't know who the Gruffalo was, and then I googled him. I felt very annoyed. So there you go.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I'm forever known as the Gruffalo around that house.
You're a fictional character.
I am a fictional
You're not even
character.
real.
No,
Damn.
that means I can do whatever I want.
That's scary. That's scarier than you not having your glasses.
Well, imagine what I'll be like if I have no glasses and can do whatever I want.
He doesn't have his glasses, and he is a fictional character.
Mm.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
Yes, it's episode 13. It's appropriate.
Oh,
Right,
dear.
shall we just make a start?
Yeah, go on.
After
Oh, we're doing
minor
the
introduction.
podcast
Yeah, we
now,
go.
I'm
I thought it would be a good idea.
I thought we were just sitting around a table talking shit. Oh wait,
That's
that
what
is a
that is
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yes,
isn't
yes.
that what we do?
Yeah, that's what we normally do. Okay, so games we've been playing.
Have you been playing any?
Oh, you're talking to me, sorry.
Well, either of you. Anyone?
Well, he thought he was going to respond, and so I stopped, and then he didn't.
Was you expecting Thorny to play games? Have you played games, Thorny?
Not particularly. Nothing
don't
new
think.
anyway. I've been playing older stuff. We're still on the old Dynasty Warriors kick, and
Ah,
I've revisited Payday 2, and I've just been playing those 2 games really.
fair enough.
So we're going to save you from
Although I
another
did
6
pick up
hours.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the PlayStation Vita. I picked up. That's the old PS1
Oh, the
version.
PlayStation 1 emulator.
Yeah, and
That's
it
pretty
looks
amazing.
damn nice on the Vita, I've got to say. That OLED screen, it makes all the old PS1 games look shiny and new. It's cool.
Yes, they do look very pretty, I must say. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is an amazing game.
Oh, yeah,
First
yeah, fantastic.
Metroidvania.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the only Metroidvania for me. I'm not really fond of any of the others. I think
The Game Boy Advance
short.
ones were pretty good if you've ever played
Yeah,
those.
the only one I liked, the Game Boy Advance ones, was the one where you play as Soma Cruz. That one was okay.
Is that the white-haired kid?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
who's
first
like the reincarnation
Castlevania.
of Dracula,
The
isn't
first Castlevania that came out on the Game Boy Advance, that was pretty rad.
it? Circle of the Moon?
That was the American title, I believe, yeah. It was just
Yeah.
Castlevania over here. One of many games that was just called Castlevania.
Ah,
Part
cool.
of the amazing kind of fad where you would name sequels the same as the originals. Good times.
Right, I've got a few comments already.
Oh,
What?
Okay, our good friend Bendy Ran, he has asked, Hi guys, what's the thing about the big screen, big white screen? So I'm going to hand this over to you, Luke, as you are technical guru.
We have a big white screen. Well,
We
according
do.
to my screen, it's a big screen with 3 geezers, 2 hairy geezers and a gruffalo on it.
Yeah. Actually, someone else did comment. We've got an awful lot of hair between us. I don't think I'm not the most hairiest of the lot, fortunately.
I think you've got a pretty damn hairy face,
Good old
dude.
mutton chops there.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I'm cool.
Yeah, mutton chops are cool.
Check it out. So as far as white screen goes, it looks okay on here. And Nick's got it up on his machine. Fireball looks okay. It's broken.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
everything's broken.
I will point out we have been to the pub this afternoon.
Yes.
So if this does seem a little bit random, which
More so
is-
than normal.
it's because we have all been drinking. Anyway,
Which is good.
I don't drink.
no drink. Do you actually want to explain why there's a screen there, or is it just for lols?
Right. That was the idea originally. Was so that the big, well, to me it's grey, some shade blind, but that the idea behind that was the other side is black. We have a black table. I was going to flip that round, have a black
Right.
screen, and it would just be, you wouldn't be able to see my living room anymore.
Right. I have to say, looking at the video, the actual effect isn't that marvelous.
we were supposed
I have
to be
to
sat
be
like
honest.
right there, and it was supposed to be
Right.
the other way.
It basically makes Nick look like he's one of those Santas that sit in malls and that.
That's
and,
kinda creepy.
Because he's like sitting in front of his Santa throne screen thing.
Yeah, but for anyone that isn't aware, I
And here are
do.
my elves. Look at the hair.
We made pretty damn cool elves, I think. Yeah.
And we got big old beards and stuff. But yeah, I do photography, so the screen is actually for taken.
Have you ever
So
seen...
basically, to summarise and answer the question, the screen was meant to be a background.
It would be if I could have been bothered to set up a podcast.
There you go. That's the answer to the question. It was meant to be a background, and at the moment, it's just in the background rather than the background.
One day I may move it, considering this is my living room and it's kind of awkward to have just sat there.
It is a little bit in the way. I have
Imagine
to
as my
say.
wife and children come walking through. What's that doing there? No reason.
That's why it's a background.
That's all right. Let's look at it. It's great.
Yeah. You can't see
It's
anything
not. It's
else.
grey. It's not white. It's grey. I can see it on the preview. It's grey.
It's white.
It's grey.
It's right.
Listen here. Who's the dude that does the colour correction here? Me. It's grey.
It's pink.
White.
Oh no.
It's in disguise.
I'm screwed. I'm out. That's it.
Okay, our follow-up question: why are you trying to hide? Why are you trying? What is it you want to hide in the living room?
The living room.
After last week's podcast, he's after all our secrets, man.
Yeah,
let's see,
this is the guy who found our entire life history.
Yeah.
We're discussing.
You two. I'm a master of disguise. Well, see, that's the trick, because if I take away that screen, you will know everything about me. Like,
Yeah.
that I have a sofa in my living room. I'm just trying to hide
The
that this time around.
secrets. So, admittedly, you could just watch episode 12 and 11 and 12, and you'd see the secrets.
Let's
behind
spot the
screen.
difference now.
Is it?
But so
That's
far-
the difference there. The big white screen.
Yeah, that thing hiding my living room is... Well, it's kind of failing right now, but maybe next time I'll... No, I won't. But it's there. It might be black next time.
This was our attempt to make it look more professional, and it hasn't really come off well, has it?
Well, Nick has been isolated from the rest
It's
of the
made us
world.
look at the room look even more cluttered, like we're even bigger slobs. We just nicked this screen from somewhere and bunged it in the middle of the room because.
Because, well, actually, in fairness, I was kind of using it earlier for stuff, and then I kind of actually forgot that it was there until it was mentioned, so good job.
How did you forget that?
Well, dude, I've been drinking this afternoon. I don't know what's going on.
Shall we move on?
Games
Yes.
you've been playing.
Okay, games play. I've been playing. Released last week? Week before. Released some point in the immediate past. Watchdogs, and there's a bit of a dissent here because somehow me and Luke have the exact same opinions on it, but one of us likes it and one of us doesn't like it.
Take it, yes.
Guess which is
There
which.
it goes. Who are the two? Yeah, I like it. He doesn't like it.
I hate it.
He hates it.
I'm indifferent.
I love Watchdogs.
I
Because
hate
you're
you.
heavy and you've never played it.
I hate that you play. That stops me ever playing it.
So does
You-
everyone else that's
Fact,
trying
You
to
yeah.
play
You play,
is an
it's
absolute pain with it, and it has upset me a few times.
Have
By
they fixed it yet?
oh god, no!
Oh, okay.
It's
I
you-
just
no,
ultimately
no,
refuse
no,
to
no.
play anything.
It
that
keeps
has you
coming up
play.
things like it kept saying unable to synchronize your game saves. So why aren't they on the computer? Why are you trying to synchronize game saves? Turns out they are on the computer, just trying to back them up. But it's like, oh, I don't bother about that. Just save them. I don't need you to keep telling me you can't synchronize. Just do it in the background when you can't do it. If after a month you still haven't synchronized, then tell me. But don't tell me every single time you fail. Just get on with it.
That kind of reminds me when you say, like, oh, we're synchronizing game systems, we can't do it. It reminds me of this thing with a game stick, right? If Wi-Fi is turned off, it will tell you, no matter what you are doing, even if you're loading something off of a memory stick, I was like, oh, can't access the internet. It's like, I don't give a damn. Even if you're watching a film off of the damn thing, in the bottom corner, by the way, your internet's turned off. It's like, I don't care. I'm trying to watch a film here, and it's just like in bright pink as well.
Fashionable.
So thanks, guys. Not really all that important, but good job.
It isn't important.
uPlay.
uPlay. So uPlay's integration is shit. Unfortunately, you have to put up with it to play the game.
On PC.
On the PC, yes. I don't know about the consoles. I'm assuming you don't. At the moment, I'm really enjoying it. So Watchdogs, you're playing as a hacker. Aiden Pierce.
Is it Aiden or Ethan?
Aiden Pierce. I'm sure it is Aiden Pierce.
That geezer.
Yep. And you are a hacker, and it's, as Luke says, it's basically your niece was killed by this evil guy.
Right, basically,
revenge quest.
You get busted doing something daft, and then the people who busted you wreck your niece. Actually, it was in an attempt to kill you or scare you, but your niece gets killed by accident.
Process, yeah.
Oh, he's like the best friend of the dude from Taken, then.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you decide, right, that's it. I've been caught doing something dodgy, so I'm going to go and wreck these geezers, and it's just a kind of a generic revenge story.
Yeah, but it's fun. So its key mechanic is the hacking, and basically allows you to go and hack the city. So in the city itself, you can hack things like traffic lights.
It's a sandbox.
Yeah, sandbox, traffic lights, bollards, bridges, and other things as well. Like you can hack a steam pipe to make it explode. Don't ask me how that works.
People's phones. Like
People's phones.
The entire city of Chicago is wired up to the. Is it the
CTOS? I call it CTOS.
CTOS.
They call it the CTOS, Central Something Operating System. And everybody's wired up to it, and that allows you to access and look at all their basically personal. So every time you scan random things, you'll get a little message pop up saying, "Oh, this person frequently buys lingerie on the internet." It does. It just shows you random things like this about each person. Believes in the occult.
Or like main searches for activism and
yeah, it's search things, but you can pick up other things as well. So occasionally you'll come across somebody, it'll say, "Oh, this person's got a bank account," and you can hack the bank account, and you then get access to their money. Or you might get songs or vehicles. You can also sometimes you might come across somebody having a conversation with a criminal, and if you hack them, you can listen, you can see the conversation, what they're having, and that'll lead you to a crime spot, which you can then go and either go there and you have to find the criminal or the victim, and you have to decide to intervene. Well, actually, that's trickier than you think, because if you get spotted too soon, they soon get scared off. Yeah. Why you scare them off and no one else does, I don't know, because there'll be other people milling about.
You're wandering around in a crowd full of 100 people, and they're like, "Oh my God, that random guy
he's
must
got
be
a bandana over his face. He must be dodgy." And they wander off. You scare them off.
He's wearing a trench coat. He must be a fan.
What's quite good about it is if you do intervene and you do catch them and they run off and you chase them down, you get more reward for knocking them out rather than killing them.
Yeah, you get reward for you're basically a vigilante. You get more reward for, say, capping them in the knee than you do for...
What's quite about is they'll sometimes go and they'll, like, steal a vehicle, so they'll suddenly run and you'll soon jump in a vehicle and you have to then jump and follow them after them. And I think that's dynamic, because I was chasing one criminal, and these are sort of random missions generated by the game. They're not like a pre-built mission.
They're not story missions.
No, they're randomly generated. I was chasing one guy, and after I chased him in his car, I managed to get him out of the first car. He immediately ran and tried to nick someone else's car. I managed to get him before he did.
This probably shows what an awful person I am, but the first thing I thought when you're saying that is crimes being solved by you, someone's being carjacked, you rescue them, then you steal their car and drive off in it.
Oh, I did that as well.
It happens.
Well,
excellent.
No, the criminal was going away. I stole someone's car to chase him down, saying, "Don't worry, citizen, I'm doing this for your own good."
This is amazing. I imagine like vigilante Nick. "Don't worry, citizen. Stop. I need your car." And just drives off.
Oh, I wasn't quite honest. I just opened the door, pulled them out, and gone and drove off with it. So, "I'm catching a criminal. Get out of my way!" And just left him to it and drove down.
"I'm catching a crim by being one. Get out."
Yeah, and you can use it to your advantage. So, like, if you see them going to bollards, if you time it, or there's like they call them blockers, but they're bollards that come out of the ground. And once you can hack them, if you see them sort of going over, you can time it. You can lift them up to throw the car up in the air so you can get them, and you can like use the same with the bridges. And that's also useful when you're being pursued. So if the police are pursuing you, you can also like good example, being pursued by the police. I'm coming to the traffic lights. They're currently green for me, but not for everybody else. As I go through, I'll look behind me, hack them, and they'll all go green. So all the cars go across. Please get stuck in the pile up. You massive crash. Please get stuck.
Why can't you just like hack the police cars directly, make them drive to a donut shop or something?
You can't hack the cars, which is interesting because a lot of cars have computers. You can't hack the cars, but you just hack the things around. But
yeah, it seems a bit silly that.
The police AI is really good actually. I mean, I found myself playing cat and mouse them a lot.
That's not very realistic. The police are actually useful.
The police do their jobs. What?
Yeah. So basically how it works, if you're seen committing a crime, or you do something like walk around with a gun out, then someone will contact the police sometimes, not always, sometimes they will. If you carjack somebody, you might call the police.
I'm curious just because the game has a reputation
system.
It has kind of like a...
From what I've seen, it only goes down...
If you cap someone in the face.
If you kill a civilian,
Stupid
it goes
civilians.
down. It goes up if you catch criminals and so forth. But things like stealing cars, no effect. You can do it to your heart's content, no effect. If you've actually killed grievous crimes, it worries about it.
I kind of dig that. I like it when games punish you for being an asshole. Like the fact that you can just go around and kill anyone in GTA.
Fact, that's what Watchdogs is. Like GTA is you're just an asshole.
Yeah.
In Watchdogs, you're a vigilante, so you're not like a thug. You're just a you're an anti-hero. So.
Yeah. So. I thought I was showing what was I talking about? Watchdogs, that's what I was talking about. Police, yes. So what I'm saying is, please, someone might see, they might call the cops, and you can actually hack and listen to the conversation. You'll hear them talking to the police, saying there's someone here with a gun, someone just stole my car. And they'll then start trying to find you. They'll first of all scan the area, and you'll see this little circle on the screen which they're scanning the area looking for you, try and track you down. If you get out the area in time, they won't track you down, you escape. If they do find you, then the police will all come down, conversion you. They'll actually if they see you directly, they'll chase you, but they'll actually initially just search for you. So you can actually be quite clever. You can do things like you can hide in your car. So if you see cops coming towards you, you can sort of pull into the side, switch your engine off, you duck down your car, and they all might just drive past you and miss you. If they get really close, yeah, it's good. You can hide in the car, and and then obviously, if you need to make a quick getaway, it takes a few seconds for you to start the car, get it all going, moving again. It takes a little while to do that. So you have to be a bit risk reward, but it's fantastic tension. And when the helicopters get out there and the helicopters start chasing you, you've got to think, okay, I'm under an underpass now, he can't see me, I need to use it to my advantage and sort of go where he thinks I'm not going to go and try and trick him out. It's actually, I found it's actually, compared to like GTA where you just go as fast as you possibly can and get away from them type mode, it's more about thinking about how you're going to get away from them. So you'll hide down back alleys, you'll go into garages and wait and watch the patrols and sort of sneak your way past them. Really enjoyed it. Then eventually you get out there sort of search zone and then you'll escape and you'll be alright. That's really enjoying. And there's other little things, like you've got little missions in it. You've got obviously main story missions, which various things. I mean, I've not done many story missions, I've only done a few because I've been mainly enjoying my time in the city. But you've got lots of side missions, the gang hideout side missions where the first one I did was a multi-story car park, and I found the back way into this car park, got up on a little lift, go into the car park, and you have to find your target and knock him out. You can't kill him, you have to knock him out. So I was in the middle of a car park, could see some security cameras about, so I hacked the security cameras and sort of looked and eventually found my target. I thought, great, now I need to sort of thin the herd down. There's lots of guys around them, and I had a little pistol and a gun, but there's lots of them with guns. I thought I need to thin the herd down. There's also things I mentioned earlier, you can hack things like you can hack transformer panels, make them explode. You can hack valves apparently somehow. You can do things like set car alarms off. So I basically watched these guys walking around the place, and as they went near things, I just randomly made things explode. What they thought was going on, they started to, first couple of times they think, what's going on? Then after a while they start to think, okay, something's
You played
amiss.
an old Mega Drive game called The Haunting.
Yes.
That's instantly what it made me think of.
Is that the one where the little ghost you have to
your little ghost, Frankendude, and you just like jump into objects and haunt them so that when people go near them, like stuff happens and it scares them.
I've never heard anyone compare Watchdogs to that.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Watchdogs and The
perfect.
Haunting.
So I did all that, got the herd thinned down a bit, and then I wanted to get this guy near me. So the car I was hiding behind had a car alarm, so I activated it. He wondered what it was, come over. As he came near me, I jumped out, boom, bashed him in the head, knocked him to the ground, mission complete. But it wasn't.
Proper old
I
school
had to
Batman
escape.
style.
Yeah, I had to escape from the criminals. So I jump in the car and I drive to what I thought was the exit. Turns out it's actually the sort of, those car parks, those little sort of twisty round roads that go up to the next level outside. Yeah. So those sort of car parks. So I thought that was what I thought was the exit. It was actually the one to the next level.
The next level.
So I'm driving up them. I've got all the guys chasing me, and some of them in cars chasing
Benny
me.
Hill music in the
So
background.
I run up and I come round, and there's a ladder which goes to the roof. So I think I know what I'm going to do. So I drive up to her and I do a handbrake turn into the stairs. So basically I can get out on the right side, but they're going to have to get past my car. And I run up the stairs and they're still trying to come behind me. Get up to the roof. I'm now stuck on the roof. But in the corner of the roof is a very conveniently placed ramp. As they often are in sandbox, conveniently placed ramps. And it's a nice high-powered car. So I get a nice high-powered car, aim at the ramp, full pelt, flying off there. Get off, go onto the road.
In the old General Lee.
Yeah, but I've still got the guys chasing me. They're still hunting me down. I can see their little blips on the map. So now I'm not trying to evade I'm not just... No police have been called, but instead of police, I'm trying to evade this gang. So I'm having to skirt around and manoeuvre around and, again, like the police, use almost like stealth to avoid them and work my way around and get past them and get out to eventually get out. And it's like being an action film. I absolutely loved it. I love just walking around the city. I love just having the crimes pop up and I'll go investigate that and take them down. And you'll get random missions just appear all of a sudden and they'll come up and say, oh, there's a fixer contract over here. If you don't respond to them straight away, they get saved in like your PDA so you can go at them later so you never lose out. Quite a bit to see and do. There's like hidden QR codes which are around the city which you can scan and read and get messages off. Quite a lot of stuff to do. You can also do things like you can hack buildings. You have their missions to hack into buildings or steal goodies and hacking them, getting them out of there. I'm finding it a really fun little game.
Cool.
Really enjoy it. So Watchdogs for me gets a thumb up.
A thumb up, what we won't say.
For me, it's not quite as great as Nick has made it sound like. I've experienced some of the things that you have mentioned, but they haven't been as, yeah, that's amazing kind of thing as what I have. Like, you're like, oh yeah, I've gone up a multi-story car park, I've slammed on the handbrake, and you make it sound so dramatic, yet for me it's just like, oh, every other sandbox. Like 9 times out of 10 it will not go quite how you had it planned out. The game isn't quite as smooth as you'd like it to be. I found that, obviously it's an open world sandbox. The most fun I've had with the hacking mechanic is in the missions where I've been locked down to do something specific. So I'm told, look, you have to hack your way out of here, or you have to find a specific person that's in this area and then find a target to unlock information and then get the hell out.
Yeah.
But as soon as the game opens up and lets me have a bit of freedom, where, as Nick said, you get to go and hack other people's stuff, steal their money, drive around. The scenery is gorgeous. The city of Chicago is beautiful. Is it Chicago? Especially when it's like raining and stuff like that. The game looks beautiful. Even on the PlayStation 3, I've got experience of this game on 2 different platforms now.
Right.
The game looks and feels pretty cool. But I don't give a crap about fixer contracts. I don't really give a crap about the rest of the people in the city of Chicago. I don't. If you don't force me to use the hacking mechanics, to me it just feels like a really poorly made sandbox. It's not as fun as Saints Row. It's not as fun as GTA.
Although saying that, I wasn't a big fan of the last Saints Row. I really liked Saints Row the Third.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm comparing to, Saints Row the Third.
I've never played in the Saints Row game, so I can't count those. I personally have found it more fun than any GTA game I've ever played.
If you grab Saints Row 3 on Steam, you might be able to get fairly cheap now. Cheap when I last.
Yeah, so I was going to say, the driving on it is awful. Open world, I don't care about. I was like, oh, look, this guy looks up porn on his computer a lot, and it turns out he's going to go and mug someone down a back alley. I don't give a toss. But
see,
if you force
I'm just
me,
more of a vigilante than you, obviously.
Well, if you say to me, like, okay, now you get to go down to a... Because I don't find Aiden Pierce to be a particularly great character. I just don't. It's a generic revenge plot. I don't care. I expect a sandbox to be fun, but you can't do what most sandbox games let you do. Like, go completely crazy.
It's kind of funny actually going back to Saints Row when you think of like the boss in Saints Row and how off the wall that character is, and I end up really liking the protagonist of that game just because of how off the wall he is, or she is, depending on how you play it, really.
Yeah, you can have crazy fun in Saints Row. Like,
yeah.
there is no real restriction. But so let's say, for example, you get bored in Saints Row, you grab a car, you plow it through someone's face.
Murder time, fun time if you're bored in Saints Row.
But you can't do that in Watchdogs. You will just get gunned down in about a minute flat.
It's quite tough, actually. Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's quite tough. I can see that realistic, though. I can see that, and there have been ones where I have been ambushed, like there are these convoy missions which you have to intercept people on, and on one of them I didn't get the guy who could call reinforcements quick enough, and I got ambushed. I was having to really think about using the environment to my advantage to escape this ambush. I got attacked on all sides, people were coming at me. I was having to really think about how I was going to do it, and sort of running from cover to cover and cover. That's because it's rebooting. It's because it's rebooting at the moment.
Okay.
But you're alright, it's just loading up again.
Oh no, I've just been ambushed, but I didn't experience that once. The missions and things seem so simple to me. And
it's one you can't. I will admit if you just walk around, when it offers you missions, they pop on screen. If you don't take them up, I could see how the city could come a bit boring. I could see how that happened.
I didn't want to take up half the missions. They just seem so, chase this guy down before he mugs. I saw one guy push a hacker off the edge of a building. I didn't care. The city seems alive, but...
Did he ragdoll on the way down?
Yeah, he did, actually. But I was like, look, I'm walking around, and all of a sudden it flips on the screen. Oh, yeah, this guy's doing this. Go and stop him. I was like, oh, my God, seriously? I just want to go to the next... I want to go to the story mission. This is one of the first games in recent history. Even in Dishonored. I didn't stealth in Dishonored. I just didn't. I didn't care. I just wanted to kill people and get it over and done with. In Watchdogs, I hacked around areas. I just kind of watched where people were going. I used the environment to my advantage, like, hacking transformers and things to make them explode and distract guards and things whilst I capped them in the knees to put them down. But as soon as I got out into that city and they didn't force me to hack into cameras and hack different computers and ATMs and alarms and craft things to jam police scanners and things like that, I didn't care. The game just wasn't... As a sandbox, to me, the game falls apart. But if you put me in like a little a multi-story car park or like an office building, the game is brilliant.
I can sort of see where you're coming from, regards to the open city, but I see the open city as a way of knitting together the missions, and if you don't do all those other missions, there ain't a lot in it for you, to be honest. And I can see where you're coming from, but I'd rather have the city there than not. If I was just a series of missions, it feels like I'm playing a game. When I've got this city round it and I'm having to drive to my next place, go from next location, or when the missions sort of spill out, like I described earlier, where they sort of spill out into the city round me, then I suddenly find it a lot more... Yeah, I've played... I mean, it depends what you class as sandbox games. If you're talking, I've played obviously GTAs, and I've personally find GTA, I think, is a bit past its prime.
It does sound to me like if you've not really been playing sandbox games before, I can see why like a lot of the stuff would appeal.
Whenever I go to a game that hasn't got, whenever I play games that haven't got that sort of connectivity between levels, I feel like I'm not playing a game. I feel like I'm playing a game.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I like that ability to if it makes, how I like being immersed in the game. I like feeling like I'm a character in the game. I feel like I'm part of the world. When I've got level one after the other, I lose that immersion. It's very hard for me to get back into it.
Definitely need to get them on Sanctuary 3.
But when I've got that connection, I feel like I'm in the game. I feel like I'm part of the world. I'm not just playing levels, which is simply why I like that. So I can see where you're coming from, City, but to be fair, the other thing I'd say about it is, to me, that makes logical sense, because there isn't going to be a lot to hack in a city, because it's going to be the buildings that are going to have all these CCTV and camera stuff. You mentioned earlier, before we were talking about the highway, how there was nothing to hack on the highway. Well, to me, that didn't worry me, because there wouldn't be anything on the highway to hack.
But the point was that it was a side mission, and so the whole point was it was a fixer mission, it was a side mission, and I had to chase down a guy who had done something wrong. I didn't quite pick up what he had done wrong, but he just like pissed off somewhere, got in a car, and was driving like a madman. So I got on a motorcycle and started chasing him down. The trouble was, the dude, initially, for like the first, 10 seconds, we were in, standard kind of housing areas. There were the bollard things that Nick was talking about, the little bridges that I could hack and things like that. But then all of a sudden, the character decided for the lulz, it would just track the freeway for the next 6 minutes. And there was nothing for me to hack at all. So unless I got off my bike, got into a car and rammed the prick off the road, there was nothing I could do to stop the guy. And it was boring as hell.
The bikes don't work well on pursuits. They do work better as getting to a place A to B. They don't work on pursuits. I did something similar in a car, and although it was not much hack, it was replaced by the fact that I was having to use my driving skills to weave between the traffic and sort of, okay, just time it here so I don't lose any speed, knowing when to sort of, because the car physics is quite realistic. The braking I found quite, compared to
cars feel like they have weight.
They feel they were. I believe they worked with one of their development teams to do a racing game. They worked with them for the car handling model, and it feels like, and you can feel a rear drive car works differently, like it should do, squirrely when you first try and pull away a lot of power. You can feel the differences in the cars when you get in them. Whereas in GTA, basically they were just fast or slow. And I found that the skill was weaving between the traffic and in one case I was playing a lot less powerful car, but through more skillful driving, I was able to outmaneuver him because he couldn't do stuff I could do, and I was to get in front of him and then basically just handbrake turn, pull in front of him, smash into my car. That slowed him down enough that I'd get out and shoot him. So that was when the game. So although there was no hacking, I found that more enjoyment with the cars. If you're on a bike, I could see it being a problem. But to be fair, if you're on a bike,
all in, I just found anything involving driving in that game just fell apart to me. If I was, because that was the whole point of the game. The game was sold to you like you're this really badass hacker with his mad iPhone skills.
That instantly made me not want to play it.
You press the button on your iPhone, and all of a sudden you hack into something and cause the entire city.
It must admit, it does look like an iPhone when he holds up on the screen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's like an HTC.
That wonderful PlayStation thing where it was unveiled. Just the most disappointing thing I ever saw.
The trouble is, as I said, when it gets into the sandbox, it's absolutely the city. Look, I could explore that city for a long time. I feel if I'm bored and I feel like I want to go for a drive, but to do the side missions, the fixer missions, I didn't care.
No.
Even if it's like, like you said, get in a car. I got into cars for other fixer missions, but that didn't change my enjoyment any because the whole point of the game to me was like, yeah, man, I'm going to hack into stuff. I'm going to steal people's information. I'm going to start jumping between security cameras. I'm going to blow shit up. I'm going to screw around with the police, but none of that really came into play whilst I was driving around the city.
Have you done many of the CTOS towers at all yet? Do you know the CTOS buildings? Yeah.
Every time I saw one, I'd back off and went to go on. Yeah,
the proper buildings. They've got the buildings, and then you've got the little relay stations they have dotted around, which usually aren't guarded. The buildings ones that are fully guarded, and you have to sort of jump between cameras. And I think the first one you do, there's a clever trick with the guy with the hidden camera on himself.
Yeah, and you can actually follow. You hack and you can see what he's doing.
You have to hack through a door, but you can't see the door from the cameras you're in. But he's got a hidden camera, but he's facing the wrong way. But there's a mobile phone near the door which you can see. So you hack the phone to ring it, and then you have to hack his hidden camera. So as he turns, you can see the door to hack into the door to get into the CTOS system to
But that stuff is neat because it's forcing you to actually use the hacking mechanic.
Yeah.
As a sandbox game, it's absolutely crap. It just doesn't. You're not made to use the mechanics at all. It just feels like GTA with heavier cars.
Yeah.
Or Saints Row with none of the fun. Because I'm pretty experienced with over-the-top sandbox games.
Yeah.
If I want something where cars have realistic driving physics,
what sandbox games should be, really, isn't it? They should be just about having a big area to fuck around in, pretty much.
But you can't do that in Watchdogs. You can't. You can explore and do really neat little things like scan people.
I'll never ever forget after playing GTA 3 buying a game called The Getaway, which was the London mafia version of.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
And it was the most awful piece of shit I've ever played in my entire life, purely because it was a sandbox game that had nothing in it. It was just dead. The whole thing was utterly boring. Yeah.
And do you remember Driver on the PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
Like, that game was a massive city, but you couldn't even get out of your car.
No, that was a cool game, though.
But that game was amazing because it played to its strengths. Watchdogs is a lot of fluff.
Yeah.
That doesn't really... Like, they're trying to throw a lot of stuff at you, but unless they actually kind of put you in an area where you're forced to use the mechanics. Because, like, every time Nick says something good about the game, it's where he's in an area where he's forced to use the hacking mechanics.
No, the things like the police chases I've mentioned have happened in the sandbox areas. They've happened in the sandbox areas, and...
But I've not had any. I've not had any really hardcore police chases. I've been able to get away from the police like I would in a regular sandbox. I'm in a car, I stomp my foot on the accelerator, the police have nothing, they can't do anything about it. Or... I'm just good enough not to get spotted by the police. So, again, as a sandbox, to me, it's just not very good. But
you see, if I did that, if I managed to get out without being spotted by police, I'd get a little reward feeling of, oh, great, I did it, I managed, I succeeded there, a little reward. I mean, the reward to me is the fact I got out without being spotted.
It's like there's a mission where you have to get this guy away from the police to get into a checkpoint area, right? First time I did it, I cocked it up. I accidentally got caught by the cops. Second time through, I just piled through a fence and went right around every single roadblock. It was literally like, right, I can either go straight ahead where the game has kind of pointed me to, that's where it's kind of hinting for me to go, or I just go back around and straight through this fence, and the mission was over. I was like, what the hell? This isn't fun. That wasn't exciting. Like, the police were over here somewhere. They were like a mile away.
You see, I probably quite like it because I think to myself, yes, I've used my ingenuity and bypassed, not supposed to game, but I've thought of a way around this without having to go through all the cops. I found my own way around it.
If it was real life, I'd be like, yeah, good job, I've done something cool there. Otherwise, I've just pulled a lot of the excitement out of the game because escaping the police without them even realizing I was there. If I'm playing,
I'd love that. I'd love that feeling. And perhaps because it is quite in some ways it's quite a realistic game in that respect, and perhaps that's probably why I'm enjoying it more because it's not so arcadey. It's more realistic, and I like that. I like GTAs when they got more realistic. I didn't like the arcadey
that's
physics.
why most people started to hate them when GTA started to get realistic driving physics. People were like, the hell are you doing?
I didn't like the arcade physics of
GTA. It was never meant to be serious.
Give me a game where the driving physics are so where a car will bounce off of a wall and fly through the air. Yeah. That was crazy fun. Like you could triple backflip a car. That was really fun. But as soon as you made my car kind of slide around and drift like a real car,
games aren't real life.
Yeah, exactly. If I want real life driving, I'll go out and drive a car.
That's what Gran Turismo's for. Exactly. Driving simulator,
But all in, we agree that there are some really good points about the game.
Yeah, I think our only disagreement on it is the open world bit.
Yeah, the sandbox. It's neat. It looks nice.
Yeah, I think that is our only disagreement is the sandbox area. I think it's right. I haven't touched the multiplayer. I refuse to touch the multiplayer,
which is a big part of the game.
I've not lost anything out of it yet, without having multiplayer. It is annoying that there are certain unlocks you get because obviously, like a bit like if you play Far Cry, as you get through once you've unlocked so many CTOS towers, once you've hacked so many destroyed so many gang hideouts, you get a reward in the form of either a weapon or a car or an achievement. Those are ones tied to the online bit, and because I won't do the online bit because I don't want some twat coming to my game and ruining it for me, I've lost access to all those achievements. Or not achievements, but rewards for completing it, which annoys me somewhat. And annoyingly, one of UPlay's many faults is occasionally it resets all your settings.
Okay.
So I had all my control settings set up perfectly, saved the game, come back later on, and I've been in and out of the game a couple of times. But this time when I loaded back up, I thought, why isn't right mouse making me jump? Why am I hitting right mouse and nothing happening? And I realised it reset my controls.
Well, that's annoying.
Next thing I know, it says, oh, you're being hacked. I thought, hey? I switched that off. It reset that as well. So I thought, fuck you, mate. I'll Alt F4 the game to get him out, kick him off. Because I'm not playing with some other. I'm not playing with another person.
I was explaining to Nick what I thought he might love in Dark Souls earlier, which is one of my favourite things I used to do when you get invaded. It's basically the same mechanic, isn't it? Watchdogs has basically stolen the Dark Souls invasion mechanic. Yeah. What I used to love to do is I had the chameleon spell, and I'd go to the forest, wait for the forest invaders to come in, and disguise myself as a tree. And then I'd be like, have fun, mate. You've got a good few hours of trying to find me now.
You just put your control pad down, you walk away. And it's like,
I got some very, very nasty emails because of that. That was quite good fun.
Yeah, no. What really annoyed me though early on, just speaking briefly the online bit, is the game will actually, it teaches you about online invasions.
Yeah, that's one of the first missions, isn't it?
Yeah, the way it teaches you is by faking an online invasion.
Yeah.
Well, first time that happened to me, I thought I was really being invaded, and I said, well, no, I've switched that off. I quit the game because I thought and restarted because I thought I'd switched it off and went through my options thinking, no, it's switched off. Why is that happening? Mm-hmm. It was only when I saw load about 12 hours later and I found myself being hacked by the same person. I tweet, that's not a real person. Mm-hmm. And that just annoyed a bit because the thing about that mission is that it happens when you go up to start a new mission and it suddenly gets locked out. Well, to me, if that wouldn't be a simple thing of saying, okay, he switched it off, therefore this will never activate, and he just carries on the missions. And what annoys me is at the end of it, Aidan Pierce says something like, "Right, I'm going to get these guys." He said something like, "Oh, I'm definitely going to do that and get them." I thought, no, I'm not. In this reality, I am Aidan Pierce, and I'm not going to hack somebody else because I can't be bothered.
Yeah, you've got better stuff to do. Right
exactly,
now,
I'm not going to do it. So don't, and it made me feel a bit like, oh, so you're saying that because I'm not doing that, I'm somehow I'm not playing the game properly because I'm not doing the online invasion. If you give me the option to switch off, let me have that choice of not doing it. Don't try and trick me into doing it. Because after you do that bit, it then tells you to go on. It tells you to like complete the mission. You have to, and this mission you can't not quit. You have to do it to go online and hack somebody. I thought, I don't want to do that.
Oh, see, I didn't have to do that.
Well, you see, when I tried to do it, I thought, okay, perhaps it's going to be another training hour. If I try and do it, it will. So I tried to do it, and it wouldn't work because the game says you're offline. As soon as I quit back out of it, he said, oh, okay, I'll save it for later, and they ended the mission. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, that should never have been there in the first place to trigger. They shouldn't have been in a situation where I'm sat thinking, for a while, I thought, I can't complete the game without doing this.
Yeah, see, I panicked with that as well because I didn't actually have access to the internet at the time. I was like, oh, well, you better go online and try and hack this person. I was like, I can't do that. What's going on? And then after kind of dicking around in the menus for a few seconds, going like, oh, this is the kind of mission I can do, all that kind of mission. I was like, no, I'm just going to cancel it. Oh, okay, then I'm just going to continue
exactly. Same thing to me, but I thought I had to do it.
I was like, well, why didn't it just, let me go off on my way to start with? Because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
give a damn about the hacking in that.
Have you got it switched off on yours then?
I just didn't have access to the internet at the time. No, because I was on the PlayStation 3. On the PC version, I didn't even realise I could turn it off.
Okay.
So that was a bit iffy to me. But then again, I just avoided it as soon as I could.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, it's neat. Don't get me wrong. It's neat, like it was in Dark Souls, and the same in like Resi 5. I think you can. No, Resi 6. You can go into other people's games as a zombie and screw up their stuff.
That's quite cool.
But it just didn't. It just seemed like a filler.
Yeah.
An unnecessary filler. I would just rather let me get to the damn mission, beat the damn mission, kick the crap out of the bad guys. Then I will feel that sense of achievement that I have righted the wrong.
Yes.
Some prickbag is kind of thrown at me for killing my niece for some stupid reason that I don't understand yet.
Why is her father not avenging her? Why are you doing it?
Because he's probably the prickbag that started to kind of toss you about. But I don't know, so we'll find out. Maybe one day. But would you say it's a recommended game?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Full price?
If you like the idea of a realistic sandbox game, yes. If you are more a fan of the arcadey sandbox game, no. I
would say wait for it to come on sale. The version that I was waiting for was the Wii U version.
I was going to say to you, because you surprised me, you said you had it on PS3. I thought you were going to have it on Wii U.
It's not out yet because some of the guys from some of the guys from the Wii U dev team had to go over and patch problems that the other guys working on other ports of the game were having. So like, oh no, this isn't working. And then they're like, okay, guys from the Wii U team, off you go. You go to the PlayStation 4 group, you go over to the PC group, fix these problems, and they actually put it in I think it was Ubisoft's thing. They were like, yeah, we needed their expertise to fix these problems to make sure the game hit the launch day. And I was like, well then, why couldn't you guys kind of make sure that the Wii U version came out on launch as well? But
Ubisoft.
Yeah,
I haven't touched a game of theirs since uPlay came out.
Would you consider getting the Wii U version?
oh no, I am getting the Wii U version. There's no two ways about it. I will be getting that game, and I might enjoy it a little bit more.
Because that's the one that's got the touchpad, hasn't it? On the Wii U, you can actually use touchpad in place of your mobile. I'll be interested to see actually. I'll be interested to see actually how that interacts and how that works, and whether actually it's easier. Because as it is at the moment, all the hacking, you just do the hacking by
you press on the PlayStation 3. You press square. On the PC, you press Q.
Yes.
And it's just like, okay, there's someone you can hack, and you have to kind of aim towards that kind of area and then hit Q or hit square. It's kind of dumb. Which actually, I have to bring. Have you seen in American news? There was one guy ranting about Watchdogs saying, "Oh, Watchdogs, it's teaching people how to hack." The same way they're saying that, say, Halo teaches you how to become a world-class sniper. And I was like, there's no way holding a sniper rifle is anything like holding a controller.
All these kids out there believe that the way you hack into things by holding the Q button down.
Some complete knobend in the media, in American media, is like, yes, this game is teaching you how to hack and how to be a vigilante, and it's teaching you that it's right that if you wanna be, do something without having to work for it, you can just hack into someone's phone. You can spy on people in their own homes and all that kind of shit. It's like, I'm sorry, but I know a bit about computers. Nick knows a bit about computers. I'm pretty sure I've never been able to just press one button on my PC whenever I've looked in the general direction of someone's stuff and just go.
Do you not? I do all the time on my phone. There's an app an app for on the iPhone. You literally just sort of aim at people and push the button, and it just hacks everything.
And they did have a really neat kind of trick video, promo video about that. Did anyone see that?
I haven't seen that. No.
So Ubisoft, I think it was Ubisoft, made a video where they opened up kind of a fake shop. On a high street or whatever, and people could go in to get their phones fixed in 15 minutes. And they had all kind of like cameras everywhere and stuff. And the guy was like, yep, I've fixed your phone, whatever the problem was, it's locking up or whatever, and I've also installed this really cool app, like, just for you. So check this out, and there's like a sports car parked out on the street, and he walks up to the car, and he presses the button, and the car's door unlocks. And he's like, oh, hey, look, I just unlocked the door. And he's like, wait, is that your car? He's like, no, but, the door's unlocked now, so maybe, you can go drive it, or... And he's like, hey, check this out, and he points up to a set of streetlights, and then the streetlights blow out. And all the people are like, oh my god, my phone's just done that. And it was kind of neat. And then all of a sudden he says, now you point your phone and press like a traffic light, like what you do in the game.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the red light goes green, people drive through, they crash, and then all of a sudden the police turn up.
This is one heavily scripted bit.
Yeah, and then eventually, there's like, oh yeah, no, he did it, and the person the person whose phone it is like, no, he put the app on my phone, and then all of a sudden the policeman's like looking at the phone and then hands it back to the person whose phone it was, and it's like, you have now experienced what it's like to play Ubisoft's Watchdogs.
Basically,
and then you'd just be there going, well, that was bloody shit. I nearly had a heart attack. So
exactly. No,
fuck Ubisoft.
I love actually some of the companies who do this. Did you see what Sony did for the release of Carrie?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. What they did was they found a calf.
My favourite one is the Child's Play one. We'll talk about that one afterwards.
They found the calf, and what they did was they put a false wall in the back of the calf. They had this stuntman in a rig, and he was all sat. His table was sat sort of next to the false wall. They had all these other tables round it, some on like remote control, so they could wheel about. They had books on the shelf that could be popped off the shelf with a button, and all the people around them were actors. And what they would do is they'd wait for people, genuine customers, come in to buy their coffee, and they had this little stage where the stuntman would stand up, walk over to this girl on her laptop, and knock her coffee over. And she would sort of screech and say, oh, look what you've done, make a really big scene. And obviously people at the coffee would then sort of turn and start looking at her, think, what's going on? And then he would say, oh, sorry. And she would just go, oh, just go away. Put her hand out at him, and he would then fly up onto the wall. And people would sort of jump a little bit, and then she would sort of have a little bit of a hissy fit, start screaming, because the actors would be sort of backing away as well. Yeah. And she sort of thrust her arms, and all the tables would go flying back, and then all the books would come flying off the shelf. And what I loved about it is people's reactions, because some people just all screamed. Some went, "Oh my god!" The best one was the person whose gut reaction to seeing this was to get their phone out and start filming it. I thought, that's humanity. That is what the world has come to. Something strange is going on. We're going to film it on the phone.
And find it on YouTube.
That was that before. Yep, that's modern. That is how we work these days.
Did you ever see the Child's Play one?
I have seen the Child's Play one.
I like that one. That's cool. It's just like a little dude dressed as Chucky hiding behind it. It's like a bus stop.
Not quite so technical.
And they've got a post. No, not technical, but just as effective. They've got a poster hanging up on the bus stop shelter of the film, and the lights flicker, and around the poster and sort of catches people's attention. This little dude just like stabs his way out of the poster and chases him down the street. It's so funny. Yeah, it's wicked.
The other one I liked on there, this wasn't a film promo. This was somebody just tricking his friend. This is YouTube people who do like pranks on each other, and what he did was he made up. Well, you know, like, have you seen? You've not mostly seen it, but you've seen like the girl from The Ring.
I know the prank you're talking about as well. It's a TV one, isn't it?
No, it's not the TV one. No, it's the white shirts, all on black hair. And what he did was he had a accomplice, and he was driving in his car. Chap is in a prank, and he's got his friend in who he's going to play a prank on his passenger seat. Unbeknownst to his friend, he's got another one of his, sort of someone in on the prank in the boot. They've locked the seat so the seat can be pushed down. They've got someone else down the road waiting for him. So what they're doing is he goes driving down this country lane and sort of says, I need to have a piss, bear with me. Stops the car, the lights on until go. So he's just at the range of the headlights, starts having a piss. Then he comes running back to the car, jumps and goes, oh my god, what the fuck, what was that, oh my god. His friend's still going, what are you talking about? And he says, oh, there's something out there. He turns the ignition so the lights go out. When the lights come back on, there's this girl dressed like the Ring just staying there, and his friend goes, oh my god, and starts screaming as well. And then they turn the engine off again. He tries to turn it on again. This time the girl disappears, and his friend's really sort of panicking, thinking, oh my god, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? And at this point, his accomplice that comes out, just jumps over, and goes, and he screams. You actually could see genuine fear on his face, and his friends just shouting, revenge, revenge. And you can see this guy. You can almost see the moment when his brain clicks. That's been a joke. But there's genuine fear, and I thought that guy's going to die in a minute because of fear.
He really wants to punch someone square in the face.
He was absolutely terrified. There'll be a link to that in the show. That was so funny. I couldn't believe. I was laughing my head out.
That.
I might have to check that out.
We're gonna have links in the show notes.
Yeah, there's a dude.
I'm going to be checking out the links in our show notes.
There's a dude that pranked his girlfriend with a ring thing, but he made like a model of the woman and set it up on their TV while she was asleep, and then sort of wakes her up and she sees it and just absolutely freaks. That's quite cool. But that sounds good.
It sort of puts my sneak into my sister's room with the radio turning on static from Silent Hill. Just sort of pales it really in comparison.
Yeah, you suck, dude. You've just been schooled. But just going back all in Watchdogs. It's not an awful game, but I just think it falls short in a lot of places.
I think it got overhyped.
Yeah, if you are stuck in an area where you are forced to use the hacking mechanic, it's absolutely brilliant. It really is fun. It really does immerse you in the kind of the thing. But I'm really just looking forward to the Wii U version. I want to see what they do with the Wii U gamepad. Just pressing square on my control pad when I'm prompted to just doesn't really click for me. And Aiden Pierce is a bit of a dick.
I think if they move the hack command from a button on the controller to a touchpad, you'll just get frustrated with it because it'll be more of a hassle to put the touchpad than it will be just to hit the button.
Yeah, I prefer that though, because there were some games like Zombie U where I'm forced to look away from where the zombie is, and the game is still moving in the background.
Yeah.
And in a lot of kind of modern games now where you can't actually pause, I want to get something out of my character's backpack, and my inventory screen is only on the gamepad, so I then have to look away from the screen. The camera angle moves slightly so I can't scan around and see if someone's about to attack me. I'm looking at my gamepad, I'm like, yep, I'm going to do that, I'm going to get my bullets out of my bag, and I'm going to do this and that. And then all of a sudden, I get out my bag, my character flips the bag back onto his shoulder, and all of a sudden there's a zombie about to chomp on my fucking face. You shit yourself if you weren't expecting it.
One of the few things I did like about the very few things I did like about the new Thief, and it was very few things, was when
The new Garrett is amazing.
when you're lock picking,
Mm.
the game doesn't pause. It didn't pause in previous games, but while you're doing this lock picking, you've got your hands and screen. You can actually, with the mouse, not with the mouse, with the arrow keys, you can actually look round and see if anyone's coming.
Mm.
You can sort of look to your right, to your left, and you can see if there's a guard coming past. And I thought that was nice. That was a nice little touch.
It's that little extra thing that makes it feel a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, you get a little bit more of a kick out. I think that's what I'm waiting for the Wii U version of Watchdogs. I want that little bit of kind of. I know for you it'd be really kind of annoying, but for me I think that'd be kind of neat. That I'll be treating it like the gamepad will be my phone. I am accessing the hacking apps like whatever his bark is, and you know.
I think it's Aiden Pierce.
Whatever his name.
We'll
His
confirm,
name has been
we'll
said so
confirm
many
that in
times.
flashback next month, next week, next fortnight.
We'll flash back
Yeah.
and say, yeah, that guy's a bit of a dick still.
Yeah.
I will.
So we'll have to have
So his
another.
name's actually George Orwell, and yeah.
No, Michael. Well,
Yeah. And he may have been a presenter for BBC TV. He may have been an author.
he was a producer.
He may have been what else was he? A director? He might have even been an athlete. Who knows? No, I probably will actually give it more of a go.
Yeah.
It'll
be interesting to see your view when that comes out. When's it due out?
No one knows.
No one knows.
No one knows. In
Can you
fact,
not-
they've actually said it
can you
might
not
not
hack-
even come out.
Can you not hack Ubisoft and find out?
It might have to be
Just
done.
just go to
I'm gonna go up
all
to-
you do is go to Ubisoft's website, push the Q button on your keyboard, and then it releases it.
I
Yeah,
think
there you go.
Ubisoft hacked themselves, didn't they?
Well, but there was also another thing like where Amazon said they'd been hacked and 100,000 people had been banned from the game. Their keys had been banned because of a dupe that'd been going around. But when some people were phoning up tech support, they were getting like they were being put in a place in a queue. I'd only heard this from one place, and it could have even been a joke, but it could have been a joke from Ubisoft. I can't remember what the code was that they'd given people, like the place in their queue, and the code meant something else in American law, like in have you ever seen Demolition Man?
Yeah.
And they had like code whatever MDK or whatever it was, murder, death, kill, and it had a number. Well, they had a number. Your queue placement actually meant something in American whatever. Like, oh, this is a.
Do you mean the codes that, like the police use?
Yeah. Someone
Like 419, that sort of thing.
that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Someone actually got that place in the queue, and it actually meant something stupid. And they're like, "Well, is this a joke? Have I just been?
Yeah.
Has my code been disabled for a joke, to kind of drum up a bit of drama about the game, or?"
I'd be pissed off if that was the
Yeah,
case.
exactly. Or have I genuinely been banned from the game that I've just paid £60 for or something? People freaked the fuck out, and I haven't bothered to research it much past that point because I haven't had the issue.
Flashback then.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember reading when the original when Uplink was first released, because when you first load up Uplink, it looks like you're setting up a dial-up connection to somebody or an internet connection to
Uplink
somebody.
is a PC,
Yeah,
Linux, and
they're
Mac
talking
hack.
about Uplink on the notes, so they obviously know what it is. So,
Yeah, cool. So that's a fun game.
It is. I like Uplink. Yes, it just shows you can build tension out of something very simple. But when you first start up, it says, "Oh, I'm connected to this server, blah blah," and it looks like you're actually connecting to something. You're not, but makes you think you are. And the several people were actually worried that actually they were actually connecting to somebody, and actually were scared they were actually doing something for real.
Mhm.
And it does, even when you play it now, you sort of load it up and you think, "Oh, this ain't doing anything, is it?" Because it's done very well to make you think like you're doing it.
It really does feel like you could actually do it. I mean, it's never actually going to be that simple.
No.
But it really does feel neat to see that someone's trying to track you and they're kind of trying to trace your IP, and you've bounced around different places, and it's just a cool little game. If you haven't played it, buy it. I recommend Uplink. I don't necessarily recommend Watchdogs.
I do recommend Watchdogs.
If you want to do a virtual tour of Chicago, neat game. Go for it.
Well, assuming Chicago's actually like that.
I know some people that have kind of driven around Chicago.
Oh, right, is it quite so?
They said it's quite accurate. I don't know.
Well,
how
it is
accurate.
saying in the future by, is it 2020? It's said.
I have no idea.
I remember that GTA San Andreas was very accurate to San Andreas. Like they were saying that, well, a lot of the places in it are there.
Isn't San Andreas made up?
No, the place that it's in isn't San Andreas in the game set in Los Angeles?
No, there's Los Santos.
Are you saying it's supposed to be based on?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all
There
the
might be.
areas from that actual...
You've got Los Santos, which I think you've got. There's one for there's a standard for Las Vegas, a standard for Los Angeles, and a standard for one of the other cities that area.
Well, the one that's Los Angeles, I know someone from Los Angeles and was saying that a lot of the places there, you can see from like actual Los Angeles, which is pretty cool.
Like they've got what is it called, the Bean in Chicago or whatever it is, that really weird, bean-shaped thing, the shiny thingy, the satin in Chicago. I can't really describe it, but it looks
the shiny thing in Chicago.
It's a really
right, okay.
annoying kind of thing they've just decided to put there to say, hey, look at the shiny thing that we've put in the.
Do you mean like that shitty seagull statue thing that we
have in town?
Oh, I like the seagull statue.
You really like
shiny.
it?
I like the seagull
like
statue.
that?
I thought it was clever.
They wasted-
I preferred the original statue that was
the
there.
fisherman, yeah.
Call of the
They
Sea.
wasted $3,000 on that shit. I can't believe you like it.
I like the seagull statue.
But either way, they have.
I'll put a photo I'll put the photo in the show notes as well, and you can agree with
The
me.
only thing that's really anything seagull-like about that statue is the shit that's covering it. That's about it, really.
Well, that's what I meant by in Watchdogs.
Yeah.
Chicago has like the neat little things that
right.
are actually in Chicago. So if you they can't have some of them for, I guess, like not copyright.
There are some buildings are copyrighted.
Oh, okay. Because they've said they can't have the bean or whatever they actually call it in Chicago. There's like a different version. Like it looks like kind of like a pretzel or something.
I
like
think it's
that.
the case. You can. I think I'll see if you. I think a lot of buildings are actually copyrighted by the people who architects and so forth. They can't stop you like taking photos of them or appearing backgrounds of shots, but
Say that to
they
the police
can't.
in London.
They can't recreate it in a game, for example, which is a bit different. Actually, one other thing I think we should move on because we've actually.
Yeah,
we made
said
a-
we were going to spend 20 minutes on. We spent an hour on
Yeah.
Watch Dogs, but this is the only
Jesus
thing in games we've been
Christ.
playing.
So yeah, one thing I would just say, the only sort of brush with multiplayer I have had with Watch Dogs is that there's little points on the series you can check in, and they're basically little ticks. So you go up to them and you can check in, and what happens is you basically you unlock a
Oh, is that
Yes.
like the was it Foursquare? What you
yeah.
can do on your phone, like you check into a restaurant or whatever, and if you check
Yeah,
in
it's
a
there's
certain
certain place
amount of
around the city which you can check in at. I think you can check in the one
I'm
star for
actually
each
going to
one.
disappear for a minute. Dr. Pepper is going through me, so...
Okay, this is one interesting break to
No, you guys get to
Yeah,
talk
go.
about Watch Dogs a little more.
Yeah. So you can check into these places, and when you do that, it comes up on the screen, and it will say, X many players have checked in, which is quite cool, actually, because when I went to one place, it said no one else has checked into this yet. I was the first person to check in.
Mhm.
I think it must be based on local areas, because I can't believe out of all the millions of copies of Watch Dogs, I was the first person to do it. Might have been, but bear in mind, about 3 days later, from release when I played it, I thought that can't be right. But you can actually leave gifts for people, so you can just leave bullets or money, and then you can have them.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's quite neat. So you can just go in there. Oh, people have left gifts. Oh, I can have them. If you want to be really annoying, you could just, I suppose, just take them all. I've not actually took any gifts, so I don't know if there's a limit to how many you can take or some other restriction like you can only take if you've got to give something back.
Mhm.
But yeah, you can. But then you could just leave some gifts and money and stuff, which I thought was quite neat.
I mean, there are some definitely very cool things in Watch Dogs. I mean, I think that some of the stuff they've done in that game is pretty neat. Just looking at the city, I mean, I was blown away when I played the PC version. I was like,
Have you
wow.
been having they've been having some rather bad lag issues with it. Some people, me included, have had some horrendous...
Oh, well, like slow down.
Horrendous...
No.
No.
Not a beat.
Some people have, some people haven't. I think it's interesting. After I've got the GeForce optimized on my computer. After I optimized it, they disappeared.
Mhm.
Before I did, cars would go down to 4 or 5 frames per second.
Which is weird because a lot of people said that game would tank like a beast on AMD cards. I have had no problem at all with my
but
card.
it seems to be a lot. They're apparently doing a performance fix, and that's the other major one they've had. They've had an issue with uPlay's go to win function, where you unlock things, and there are certain things you can unlock with that actual facts can stop the game running properly, which is useful.
Handy. Thank you, Ubisoft. You guys are great. No, I've not even bothered to touch that stuff. I literally started the game, dived in, and kind of did the first couple of missions, and then then I fired up the PlayStation 3 version or the PC version and did the same kind of thing again. So I have actually played for maybe about 3 or 4 hours on each version.
I'm probably on about 8 hours now.
But I've not really...
but I've only done 3 main missions, to be fair.
Yeah, I've actually done more main game missions than you have.
Yeah.
I've played a damn sight less than you have, mainly because I haven't been cruising around Chicago. Which, again, I have to say, that looks really neat. I love it when they actually put a city and its landmarks in a game.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
very
yeah.
cool.
ties it all together nicely.
But I'm looking forward to see it drop in price. I'm looking forward to see it come out on Wii U.
I will say it's rather pricey.
It is for what it is for sure. I do think it was kind of cool that they've got you can get Aiden's mask. The baseball cap is a thing that you can buy.
If you buy the
No, you can buy them separately. You can buy them separately. Yeah, there is actually a store that will sell
The thing about all
stuff.
those is that I would never wear them in public.
No, I reckon there are people that will though.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just be too embarrassed to wear.
Really? I know a lot of people that would just happily...
Baseball cap, fine, because people wear baseball cap, but the bandana, really? No, I wouldn't.
Well, you got to think I'd normally wear stuff like that over my head anyway. So,
yeah.
That's not really a big of a deal for
No.
me. But to have that over my face, I think
I think you get some funny looks, and
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you may...
Under my bike helmet, I'd happily wear that. Because
Yeah.
that's what I tend to do with the ones that I wear over my head. I'll pull them back over my face because that's what they're for. You cover up part of your face to stop, like, chill burns and stuff. Wind burn. Because you'll burn it down a road, high speed. The wind gets into your helmet, and you end up.
I don't think that's what they originally were for. They originated from the Wild West, but they didn't have motorbikes.
No, yeah, I know. When you're tearing around on your horse and.
Yeah. Oh, now I want an open world game where it's sort of GTA, but sort of in the Wild West. I know you have Red Dead Redemption, but I want sort of GTA Wild where you get the horse track things, and you sort of like, oh, this is.
I think that'd be kind of.
This is a sports horse.
I think that'd be really neat.
And you get this like sort of
sports horse.
Sports horse. Racing horse, sports horse, and they have the big sort of working horses, which represent your big trucks, and they sort of are big and tough and sort of take time, but they take time to speed up and not so good at handling. Then the sports horse, which is
so
fast.
good at handling. I'm sorry, that sounds really weird. Like to say, yeah, man, my horse has got great handling.
The corner's so lovely, it's so straight and flat. My horse.
And then you're all
like, yeah, trying to work out how to do reverse on a horse.
Yeah, have we got reverse?
Can you do a handbrake turn on a horse? I wonder. You lock the back legs and you sort of spin round.
I want to see if someone has actually ever put that on the internet, like a horse that drifts. Like the back legs just like lock up. It's like it just slides round. I don't know. Loss of grip, slide. So good.
The only time I've ever drifted in my entire life was my Land Rover, and you're not meant to be able to drift a Land Rover. I managed to do it.
No, I was going to say that would be kind of.
As a four-wheel drive, it's quite tricky to drift a four-wheel drive vehicle, but yeah, I managed to do it.
What I want to try?
What?
Arctic lorry.
What, drifting?
I want to try and drift.
You can do it, but it's quite a skill to do it.
That'd be neat. That'd be awesome. I want to do that.
When you say an Arctic lorry, do you mean just the cab, or do you mean the whole of the trailer?
The whole thing, man. That'd be awesome.
I'm not sure it'd be possible, the trailer. I think the trailer just fly and go and like kill everybody.
Oh, no, man. Even if the trailer just jacks off and just breaks off and just kills thousands of people, that's cool. I don't mind.
Right.
But, we need to try it. I'm not thinking about killing anyone on a freeway or anything when I manage to jackknife an Arctic lorry or anything, but that'd be cool. Gotta do it.
Right.
I'm gonna hack into everyone.
Well, if you do have access to a Arctic lorry and you're willing to let Luke drive, and can you actually drive?
Yeah, I can drive.
Yeah. So you've already let Luke actually drive and indeed try and drift it. Get in touch.
I don't mind just trying to drift the cab to start with.
Get in touch, and we'll just sort of let you know. They did it on Top Gear. They tried to drift the cabs, and they ended up all getting injured.
Really?
Yeah, Jamie Clarkson went flying off his seat.
You got like whiplash or something.
And he got carpet burns as well.
Carpet burns?
Because he sort of flew across the seat.
I have to try this now.
Yeah.
This is a must. It's on my list of things to do before I get nailed into a box. I will probably get nailed into a box after I do this.
I was going to say, perhaps you could see if there's any food directors who have like a mass transport system with an Arctic lorry in the back, doing massive funerals for big people.
Could you imagine that? Like rather than a hearse, you've got an Arctic.
That'd be great. Oh, if you're a lorry driver, what a great way to get to your gravesite in a lorry.
That'd be great.
And you could get
dump truck. They dump you into the grave.
Yeah, it could do. Or you could get somebody relative dressed up as illegal immigrants. They could see in the back of the truck.
No, man, no, God, that's like having what was it? What are they in America? I was gonna say in the Americans. Was it like not the IRS? Or whatever it's the immigration.
Word to the wise, hot wings for a podcaster, not a good idea.
Okay, that's kind of really, dude. Who are the immigration dudes in the States who?
In a bit, you're
kind of
kidnap
American citizens.
Come in a little bit. You'll be off.
Sit in, psych. I need to know who are the people that like.
Two
deal
people
with
going at me here. What?
The people in America who deal with all immigration.
Yeah, because I'd love to see it because we're talking about fancy funerals. So if you're like an Arctic lorry driver and you're rather than a hearse, you end up being
How do we get onto this subject, man?
No,
Jesus.
from
You need to-
Watchdogs to fancy funerals.
You need to watch the live stream after to find out.
Yeah, if anyone's curious, and this is going to sound really weird, but it's been agreed amongst my family that my death will be treated as a murder case. I will just be thrown roadside. That'd be
Yeah.
kinda neat.
Cool.
That's my dying wish.
I'm sure it's illegal in some form or the other. But
More than likely.
right. The reason we're waffling a little bit is that we're now on to the next section, which is tabletop.
Which is my section.
Which
so.
basically we were stuck waiting for Adam to get back.
There,
So
back
that's why
here.
I apologise for the waffling for the last 5 minutes.
I love that
So,
waffle.
Adam,
Right. Cool. Yeah. Not flashback. Flashback's my other bit. Right.
That's it?
I have a bit for
you're ruining the
flashback.
structure of the programme.
We have a program?
Yes.
It was already ruined when I left.
What do you mean you left? I didn't even know.
No one even noticed that. I'm still there on camera. Always have been. Didn't leave.
Didn't move at all. It's like a
Yeah.
stick figure gets put there, or
We can edit that in on the video, I'm sure we can.
there's like I don't know, get like a little actually a stick figure.
We want those mini cardboard cutouts, everybody.
You
Yeah,
just
mob.
just need like to get a stand up with Nigel Planer from the young ones and stick him in,
There's a
and you're
perfect
fine.
one.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
No one will even notice.
Hello,
No.
shoe.
Yeah. Got a hole in my shoe.
Oh,
Right.
I like the special branch on that, when he hits his head on the special branch.
All I can
Right.
think of them was
Okay,
Special
yeah.
Group.
Tabletop. I've only been playing one new game this week. It's a game called Love Letter. It's a pretty damn cool game. I've written some stuff down here about it. It's apparently by a dude called Seiji Kaimei. He's
A dude name.
a Japanese guy. It's a Japanese game originally.
A Japanese dude.
A very quick game. There's 7 types of card. The whole aim of the game is there's 3 versions. We played a version called Legend of the Five Rings, which is apparently an
So there's something
Oriental.
about love and it's about rings now. I'm getting a bit freaked out here.
Yeah, Legend of the Five Rings is apparently an Oriental RPG setting. I didn't know this, but it is. That's what it is apparently. But you've got that version, the original version, which I have to admit, from looking at the 3 versions, I think I might pick the original version up. It's much nicer looking, very sort of old school Japanese style artwork on it. And then you've got the Tempest version, which is the westernized version, where rather than it being a Japanese court, it's like kings and queens and that kind of stuff. But the whole idea of the game is that you're sending a love letter to the princess, and you need your love letter to reach her hand via people within the court. You go about this by each of you gets given a card at the beginning, and then you all draw a card. There's not many cards in the deck. I think there's so many of each. There's 4 guards, which are your bottom level cards, 2 ministers, and so on and so forth. But you get two cards to begin with. One of the cards is left out of the game, and the reason for this is because one of the cards is the princess. So there might be a chance that the princess isn't in the deck that you're drawing from. She might be the card that's out. If not, it could just be any of the other characters. If you start with the princess, your aim is to hide the fact that you've got the princess by playing any other cards that you get, because you only have 2 and you play a card each turn. The princess, once she's played, is considered discarded, and that means that your turn is then void and you lose. But the aim of the game is either to get the princess, or I think it's just to disguise what your other aim, and I can't remember how you go about that exactly, but each of the cards do different things. So for example, you've got the guard, and what the guard does when you play him is he allows you to make a guess at what card another person has. If you guess correctly, that person's then out of the game. You get a courtesan, and the courtesan allows you to look at another player's hand, but basically it's like a game of Risk. You play it sort of not like the board game Risk, but like a game of chance kind of thing. Yeah, it's very, very quick. A game can take 5 minutes.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's just sort of a filler game really, but it's one of them games that you might be happy to play for half an hour if you enjoy one round, play another round, play another round.
Sure.
Yeah. So your main aim is to find the princess via using these other people as a means to get your love letter across. There's differences between some of the versions. I quite like, even though I don't like the Western version of the game, because the art I found was a little bit.
Is that what you were showing earlier?
I was showing.
You show off podcast.
That was the original Japanese version. Those cards, I like them. The Western version looks a bit. I don't know, like Disney princess like for me. But one of the things I did like is in the Japanese version, all the cards are numbered, you see, and in the Japanese version there's a card called the Minister. He's worth 7. If you have the Minister in your hand, you have to make sure that your hand does not total up to 12 by getting cards with other numbers. So if you've got 5, it total up to 12, which I think is the Wizard in the original version. And then anything above the 5 would immediately mean that you're out of the game. You have to discard the Minister and you're out of the game. So the idea is to play the Minister before that happens. The one that I like in the Western version is you've got the Countess. And if you have the Countess, if you have either the Prince or the King in your hand, when the Countess comes in your hand, you have to show the cards because you automatically lose because the Countess is having an affair with the Prince or the King. And I thought that's a neat idea.
That
so
cool.
your love letter's getting nowhere because you've been caught in this scandal kind of thing. I thought it was quite a neat idea.
Say, the thing where you said how you have to kind of like, if you have the princess or whatever, you have to kind of hide the fact that you've got that
the princess.
That seems to be a common theme with some of the games that you've been playing. Like you get one card, like you're a traitor or whatever, and you have to pretend that you're not that person.
A lot of the like Resistance, for example, that kind of theme comes on. We're actually looking at playing a new version of that. The same game, Resistance, but Avalon. It's based around King Arthur. But the interesting thing about this one is, have we spoken about the Resistance before?
Don't think so.
Mentioned. Well, Resistance is like like that. There's a traitor mechanic. You basically have to suss out who the traitors are in your team, and you're all kind of on the same side, the other players, and the traitors know the other traitors. So you don't know who the traitors are, but they know who their allies are, and you have to work against them to try and stop them. The traitors obviously have to work against you to sabotage all the missions. But the Avalon version adds a new feature that they add a Merlin character, and Merlin's on the side of good, and Merlin knows who the traitors are, but he's not allowed to say. So the Merlin player has to try and guide the good players without letting on, which I thought was pretty neat. But yeah, a lot of these sort of card games seem to have developed this mechanic. But this one I found particularly interesting just because of how quick it is, how few cards there are, but how addicting the game is. It really is.
So it's quick enough to make you want more.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's no way in how it's going to get boring.
And if you're playing bigger games, it's a great game to whip out in between. Like you've got 2 big games, say, you finish one a little earlier than you expected. Great, time for a game of love there. So yeah, you can fit it in. I would definitely recommend it. It's a wicked game. Yeah. Although I have to think I'd recommend the original version. I think the original version looks better than the other 2 versions.
Is that just on looks or?
Yeah, aesthetically. I mean, they don't play all that dissimilar. As I said, the only thing different in the Western version is how the Countess works compared to the Minister. But the original version, which I think is quite nice, has a print, because there's a prince in the Western version, but he replaces one of the other characters in the Japanese version, so he's not the same as the princess. But in the original Japanese version, you get an option of a prince. So if you were, say, playing with girls or you were playing with gay friends, you might decide that you'd have the prince as the love letter, the recipient of the love letter, rather than the princess. And they also, being Japan, they have a quite cliche nerdy princess, which I thought was quite funny as well. So you got like a 3 different ones that you can choose from there, which is quite a neat little touch, yeah. But yeah, no, love that. Definite recommendation.
Do you know how much that costs?
Yeah, the 5 Rings version is the cheapest, the one we played. That was about £3 or £4 by the looks of it.
Really? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess because it's so quick, but
yeah, the Tempest Westernized version is about £6-7, and the Japanese version is actually limited edition over here. I'm going to pick that one up. It's about £11.
That's still not bad.
It's the nicer version, I think. Yeah, but yeah, definitely recommended. Good game.
Cool, good stuff.
Perfect.
I like the sound of it. That's pretty neat. I think we might have to go around and play
we'll have a round of that. Yeah, it's a fun little game.
Because we keep on talking about how we're going to play some tabletop games, and we are yet to actually bust out.
Yeah, my tabletop.
We plan lots of things before podcasts, and then none of them ever happen.
Yeah, actually playing games, actually doing things with anything ever. Yeah. One day we might do things.
I think we plan to do a game this afternoon, then it also turned to let's go down the pub instead.
Never! What are you talking about, man?
We didn't go down the pub, it was great.
Sitting there with a bottle of shut up, Nick.
Yeah.
Don't do nothing.
So, stuff we're looking forward to, and this is now as I'm referring to as the loot section.
Right, yeah, this is my section, but this is going to be really quick. So if I had to be honest, I only found out about the two things on my list like a day or two ago. And they're Japan
Most
only...
well prepared for podcast
Well,
ever.
they're Japan only releases. I literally found them while scrolling down my Facebook feed.
Okay.
I don't use Facebook other than to keep up with the occasional kind of... Like, I get game release notes, and some game companies post up like beta updates for capture cards and stuff on Facebook. But either way, one of them is Hyperdimension Action Neptunia U,
Right.
which is possibly... I thought it was going to be a Wii U game, because
I was going to
has,
say,
like, the Wii U,
yeah, I was going to say I see
like,
Wii U.
N64 had 64 and all the game names. Apparently, this is a PS Vita
Nice.
exclusive, possibly due for release in Japan in August.
Hyperdimension Neptunia game is now out on the Vita, I believe.
Yes, that is Hyperdimension Neptunia PP, which is the one that
okay.
I said was due for localization. The
Is that
the
a good?
pop idol
Is
one.
that a good one? Would you recommend looking into that, or
It's
is that
probably
just
worth
Hatsune Miku the game?
I guess. I
Yeah.
don't really know. I haven't had a chance to play.
I
still
did
think it's kind of
download
neat to
the Hatsune
have a look.
Miku game and was just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to be buying this.
I'm going to have a look at it if I can get hold of a copy. I'm not going to go for digital. The Japanese version of the of PP has it comes with like drama CDs and loads of little extra trinkets and stuff, so which
Yeah.
kind of makes it worth the purchase. But I don't know about the EU and the US versions.
No, we always get screwed over on that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll probably pick them up and have a look. But I mean, that was kind of a neat thing. I thought, like, oh, they're releasing more Hyperdimension Neptunia games, and going on to the next thing, it's actually another Hyperdimension Neptunia game, Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory 2. So Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory was the third game in the series, which also had the anime, which was helped fund the latest JoJo series.
All right, yeah, which has started.
Okay,
I
that's
will say,
cool.
yeah, the Stardust Crusaders has begun. I was quite happy to find that out, and it's been going for a few weeks now.
So I guess that means that Hyperdimension Neptunia, the anime, was quite a success.
Must
with
have
all
been,
the
yeah,
marketing and
yeah.
stuff to be able to find
Although
it.
JoJo had been well wanted by fans. I mean,
Yeah.
the first two series really took off. So yeah.
I mean, Hyperdimension Neptunia was kind of like the filler to add
Yeah.
like extra stuff. But apparently Victory 2 is coming out. I don't know how that's going to go. I'm still waiting for the remakes of Hyperdimension Neptunia 1 for Vita, which will have the Victory battle system and things, because Hyperdimension Neptunia 1 on PlayStation 3 had a really funky battle system compared to 2 and 3, which had kind of like more of a each character had like a walking area and then an attack area afterwards. So you had to like kind of move in range of an enemy, and then you had a different style attack. So
Is it Grandia that had a similar system to that?
I
I'm
can't
thinking
remember
of.
off the top of my head. I'm thinking something like Grandia,
Yeah.
but I could be completely wrong. But I mean, it was kind of neat. Hyperdimension Neptunia was kind of more of a classic kind of thing where you'd have a series of enemies in front of you, and then you'd have action points, and then you'd literally say like, I've got a circle attack, an X attack, and a triangle attack, and then each thing would use different amounts of skill points, and then you could combo them in different orders, which would use more or less skill points and do different things, whatever. Neat game. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of Victory 2, because I think it's kind of weird that they've, rather than saying making Hyperdimension Neptunia 4, they've made Victory 2. So is this going to be a spin-off or a follow-up, or are we going to see more development? Because Victory takes place in a different universe,
Right.
kind of, to the other games. So you actually go back in time, and you deal with I think it's the Pluto Sega system, which I guess was the one between the Saturn and the 32X.
Okay.
I can't remember. I mentioned this in an earlier podcast, but are they going to kind of like give us, say, more PC Engine, more say Neo Geo and stuff like that, or are we going to get
All right,
more
Nick.
Dreamcasty stuff? I know Japanese stuff. Nick's like,
No,
oh,
I'm not bored.
man.
I'm not bored. I'm just. I was up early this morning for work, and it's time to catch up with me. I do apologise.
I was just rocking 4 hours of sleep and a stomach full of
We all
alcohol,
look
so-
like shit, to be fair. We are
Look
just
at
sort of sitting there.
Not that anyone that's listening to the audio version can see that, but we're now giving thumbs up to a camera. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I'm looking forward
Not
to
one
it.
of us can do it in time. We keep doing it separately. Right, try us again.
just-
3, 2, 1.
Job done.
Perfect. That's the thumbnail.
There we go. Oh, maybe we have to do work.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to those. I don't know what's actually going to come, but I heard of them. It's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to playing Mario Kart 8 properly soon because I picked it up.
I hear lots of good things about that. People are raving over it at the moment, saying it's brilliant. So yeah.
I'm waiting for Bayonetta. Smash Brothers is coming out soon as well. All these really neat games are coming out for the Wii U soon as well. So.
I have to admit, the first video I saw for Mario Kart 8 really made me want to play it because the dude in the video was playing as Ludwig von Cooper, which I thought was wicked. One of the Cooper kids.
Oh yeah, the guys that have been Indicanos. I have to admit, I say I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm looking forward to playing it properly. I've actually kind of had a little play with it. I hate the Cooper kids so much.
Do you?
Yeah. What was his name? Morton Cooper.
Yeah, which one's he?
The one with the star on his over one of his.
All right. I just like Ludwig because of his little tooth and his hair and everything. He's
that dude
cool.
is like my enemy. I've only seriously been trounced by one NPC in that game, and it just so happened to be Morton Cooper. And for the life of me, because my first ever race in that game was 150cc with the NPCs up on like high difficulty on multiplayer mode, and I trounced everyone for the first few races, and then all of a sudden that one goddamn Cooper kid turned up, and I was like, how the hell is this dude smoking me left and right? I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong? How can I dominate everyone else other than this one damn NPC? But either way, neat stuffs. Yeah, I got owned bad. It was embarrassing. I actually have footage of it recorded. So we'll pretend that didn't happen. Straight from records. You didn't hear that at all. I win all the time.
That'll be going on the blog site later and on YouTube later. I'll hack his. Press the Q key to hack his PC and I'll get
mentality
it up.
is slowly degrading because of this one character in the game.
That's how it works.
Oh, can some lines of code be beating me?
God damn it! And rubber banding in that game is actually pretty much gone if you've ever played previous Mario games where the game just seems to cheat you out of a first place win that you've had. You've been in first place the entire damned race, and then right at the end of the last lap, you can see the finish line. Blue shell, lightning, squid, and you are just stuck on that line. And then everyone passes you, and you go from
you basically
to
feel
last.
like Dick Dastardly.
We've been asked a question.
Oh.
Yes.
It's when will you guys do the behind the scenes? Well, the thing is, we have always good intentions, but
Well,
as I
that's behind
say,
the scenes, but you can't see that now.
but as I say, pub happens and distractions happen. Before we realise it, we're 2.5 hours late for the start of the
Behind
podcast.
the scenes today just basically consists of me drunk in a child's treehouse, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Pretending to be a dwarf.
I will promise we'll try and do something in the future that might be.
What kind of behind the scenes do people want? Ask us for stuff, and I will see what I can throw.
I'm assuming it's going to be things like how we go about creating it. So there'll just be a video of me on, Metro's weird news website, just copying and pasting everything.
Like sitting behind Nick as he's going.
Yeah.
I'm pressing Q to put all of the stuff on a
just
document.
Control C, Control V, and then do all bullet pointing it so I can read it again. And
there'll be me moving my dining room table and screaming at the audio recorder as we're trying to get everything set up properly. Yeah. So, we haven't got any time. Oh, this podcast's gonna suck.
Yeah.
And
there'll be lots of tea drinking as well.
Yeah, need tea, otherwise things don't happen. And then there'll be Thorny trying to go down a child's slide.
We need refills, man.
Jesus Christ, man! Look,
Right.
You cut this out, all right? Look, you see this? There's nothing here. You finish this podcast now, then you can have a drink. Right, fucking slave. I'm gonna
fucking slave driver right here.
Chain you to the damn table. You do as you're told. If I have to sit here for the next 6 years and edit this crap,
I'm gonna go fucking Kunta Kinte on your ass in a minute.
Don't let me make you on that child slide again, son.
I went down there of my own free will and I regretted it afterwards.
No hair dryer. Anyway.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Is that? Oh, that was everything. Stuff we're looking forward to. Well, there you go. Everything's amazing. We're looking forward to everything. Positivity. Alcoholism.
Alcoholic to positivity. Oh.
Good job.
So on to other news. I do programming, and I'm quite interested in this sort of thing. But I popped this in the podcast notes, and Luke just put up boring.
Right. Oh, you're talking about WWDC, which is the Worldwide Developers Conference, which is Apple's thing that happens every year.
Yeah. So
Steve Jobs' dick sucking competition.
Oh, well, he's dead, so that's going to be necrophilia at this point.
I would say a bit. So I have been sort of keeping up with it. Unfortunately, I've forgotten half the stuff I looked up this morning when I updated my information. But
good job.
Yes, this is going to be very good. This next bit. Key things that have released this WWDC.
New operating system.
New operating system called
New iOS.
Sesame, something like that. Which has got more integration for you and your phone. So you can, like, if you start typing.
Oh yeah, like
emails,
you can send text messages.
To
and
be
make calls
fair,
from your
I have
phone.
to say, looking at some of the features they've released for the iPhone, I thought these new features, these sort of these are great new
Can you hack
features.
car doors with it?
Not yet, no. That's
in the latest
iPhone.
Android
That's
operating
iPhone
system.
6. Yeah. I must have, when I looked at all these new features, I thought these sort of features going up. I thought I've seen these before. And a lot of them are actually already in Android. So you know how Apple's used to be the ones who were always ones you go, oh, that's a good idea. Why has no one else thought of that? They now feel a little bit of, oh, they're copying everybody else.
They've followed
like
that
when
for a
they-
long ass time now.
When they said like, oh hey look, now we're giving you picture messages, like yeah, welcome back to like, you know, when we had that on phones 1,000 years ago and the iPhones, and they just caught up. WWDC was kind of neat. They announced the new iOS. They announced the new version of the Mac operating system, being able to make phone calls from your Mac, which would pass through your phone, so you didn't have to pick up your phone. You'd be able to receive phone calls on your Mac laptop and stuff. But there were just some things that didn't sit with me. The one thing that really punched me in the face, that I was just like, are you kidding me? You're going to make this a thing. So years ago, there was something called the iDisk, okay, on .Mac accounts, Apple accounts, way back in the day. It was an online cloud storage kind of thing. You'd have an iDisk, which was a mountable kind of area on the web where you could dump files.
Basically Dropbox.
Yeah, basically, it was Dropbox before Dropbox was a thing. And then not too long ago, a few years ago, Apple were like, by the way, we've got another service out. You're not having that anymore. You can't store your files. If there's anything on our service, we're wiping the damn thing clean. We're going to make a dumbed-down version for your iPhone so you can store your phones, pictures, and
Basically,
crap like
iCloud replaced it, didn't it?
yeah, it was like iCloud and Mobile Me. And now they're like, hey, by the way, look at this really cool new thing we've got. It's like Dropbox, or like a service we had nearly 1,000 years ago. I was like, thanks, guys. You've gone and brought back a service that I used years ago. Good fucking job.
What made me really laugh is like some of the Apple sites, sort of Apple like Mac rumor sites, would go on like, Dropbox better look out because Apple released this. For no, because everybody's going to use Dropbox. They've already got Dropbox.
well,
Yeah, exactly.
They're not going to switch straight away to Apple unless they get some bloody good benefits. Like it's either, the storage is a lot better for the price you pay. Unless it gives you really good benefits, no one's going to touch it.
Yeah, for
'Cause
sure.
it doesn't know if it's Dropbox. And not being funny, Google Drive.
Yeah, Google Drive is cheap. You can use it on pretty much anything. Even Mega, Mega, Kim.com's thing, they give you 50 gigs of free storage to dump any file you want and share it with, friends. There's another one called Box.com where they gave you 50 gigs of space, but they had a really dodgy limit on it where you could only share files that were like 200 megabytes or something like that. So you could upload a 5 gig file, but you could only share, or like you'd have 5 gigs of space or 50 gigs of space or whatever, but you could only actually put up really, really tiny files. It was just kind of stupid. But that was just it. The whole idea that they've just gone and brought back a service that we had so far back in the day. No one went, guys, we already had that a long time ago. I'm not impressed. Everyone's like, yeah, Apple version of Dropbox.
Yeah, but that's because there's so many people riding Apple's dick at the moment and have been for a while. There's all these hipsters that are just obsessed with Apple purely based on the name. It's ridiculous.
It's really neat hardware. At least it used
brand
to be.
name
Back in
slavery.
the day, the stuff was amazingly built.
Yeah.
These days, it's kind of...
Oh yeah, you got to tip off
Also,
your
I
hat to the.
still the hardware's hardware still always good. Have you seen the new Mac Pro?
Yeah, oh, that's
Nice.
pretty neat.
That's pretty neat. The way it's designed is pretty neat. I think their software has lost a bit. If you're going to have a feature that everybody else has done already, don't tout it as a big thing.
My problem
'Cause
is
if
that they
mo-
already had that
Yeah.
and then took it away.
Yeah,
Like it was redundant, and
yeah.
they brought it back.
It's a very sort of Microsofty thing to do. I hate to say it. It's a very Microsoft thing to do.
I mean, I paid for the iDisk back in the day. I was a .Mac member, so a lot of people that would be talking about it now,
he did
as
it
you've
before,
said,
it was cool.
like you just said, like hipsters, like, oh yeah, well, that's a new feature. No, it isn't. Before Mobile Me, before iCloud, there was iDisk. I had the iDisk. I had the original .Mac account. I have a .Mac account, .me account, iCloud account, whatever it is now.
Apple needs to make something called I couldn't give a fuck because it would appeal to me.
There you go. And it just seemed weird that they'd brought back a service they told me I could no longer use, even if I'd already paid for it.
The other one that made me laugh was they made a big, and this again was an Apple site, made a big thing about they've got this new feature on the keyboard, which means that as you type a word, it'll guess what the next word needs to be. So I thought, hang on a second.
Oh, predictive text.
Yeah, but this is predictive text just predicts the current word you're typing. This predicts the next word, but Android does that.
Yeah, a lot of stuff does that now.
Sorry, you don't go on about how great a feature is.
Really annoying people
everybody else
do that.
does it already.
Can I tell you, actually, predictive text and autocorrect is one of the most annoying fucking things that my laptop has. I have a Mac laptop. I have had Mac laptops for years and years and years. They're tanks. I had a Mac laptop with a G3. I managed to use it all the way up until college. Got a G4. Used it all the way up until 2010.
Well,
exactly.
The one that sat next to us, I bought in 2005.
And it still works.
And it's still working absolutely fine.
With the exception of that dodgy fan, which was installer error.
The dodgy fan, I didn't put the cable on quite as firm as I should have done, but that's now working absolutely fine.
But it's back to how it
should
have been.
You can't tell.
It's alive.
Yeah.
I mean, I reinstalled the Apple operating system on my machine the other day. Works a treat now. They've removed a few features that I really wish they hadn't have done, just because I've done a few hacks to my system they really rather I hadn't have done. But it's just like, Apple... Just stop being idiots. Not what you do now. Predictive text is stupid. When I'm typing, like I type in the word vlog, video, log, it will then come up with an auto-correct thing that will say, did you mean blog in blue? If I don't hit escape, it will actually change the word vlog to blog automatically. I was like, I didn't want you to correct that. But just because I hit space, you assumed I did, then I have to go back. I tried to correct it.
I'm just going to stop you there. With how much saying the audio's gone. Is everything all working at our end here?
Yes. It seems to be, and it even says it's working on the
so I don't
screen
think that's us. We'll have a look. The other thing that's mentioned is they've asked about being able to chat more in time with us. As in, like, when we talk about something and they send a message, there's also a delay because
there is a delay.
That is, I'm guessing, a Google Hangouts issue.
That's a server side. There is an automatic delay. It could literally be seconds. It could be minutes.
There's not a lot we can do about that, I'm guessing.
No, not people.
I don't know whether if we switch to something like XSplit or something like that.
You will always have some kind of delay on a live streaming service.
It's got to be processed.
Yeah, it depends what service
there's
goes
not
on.
a lot we can do about it, unfortunately.
Short of everyone coming here and sitting in my living room, you're not going to get a lot of...
we should do that. We'd get more viewers that way.
You're not going to get much joy unless you come and sit in my living room. Or come and sit in the kids' playhouse and we'll go down the slide and play on the trampoline. That'd be kind of neat. But, yeah. So, I mean, as far as audio is concerned, the Google Hangout audio thing says, hey, yo, you've got audio. I mean, I can see it coming up on screen here. The audio recorder is telling me that we've got audio.
It's back now.
Oh, awesome. So, no idea about that one. Could have been a bad internet connection, because you can't remember it is my internet connection, it is kind of poop.
Yeah, well, hopefully...
I think we're just cursed.
Possibly, yeah.
If not, then I am so drunk. I'm just pretending that we're having a podcast, and I'm actually just sat here in a pool of my own puke.
Might be.
Just kind of dribbling at the ceiling.
Okay. Shall we get to Apple?
Yeah, for sure.
Other things they announced, there wasn't... Some things I liked. I mean, as Sony looks in development, they've announced a new program called Swift.
That looks kind of neat.
Yep, because you can actually preview the code running while you're coding it, which is nice. Which is actually
it's like a live on-screen preview.
Very soon, yeah. It's a bit like how Visual Basic used to be. You could basically edit code while it was running Visual Basic. You couldn't with other languages because some were compiler based, some interpreter based, so you could do or not. That seemed pretty cool. And they've introduced with that Xcode, so it should be that Xcode is a bit that allows you to do that. Swift is tied in, but you can use Objective-C. And they've given a few demonstrations of stuff written in Swift that basically does the same thing but runs a lot quicker. I've never done coding for Mac, but I'm going to attempt just to have a quick look at it. They'll play around and see what the language is like. My biggest written language is simply because that I'm so used to one. going to another, it's a bit like literally changing a real life language, and that the words might be roughly the same, but the way you use them are different.
Do things completely differently.
Yeah, so it's not easy to switch between languages. Other thing they announced was the Health and the Home Kit.
That was kind of neat. I like that, but I'm not really. So the idea behind that is there are a lot of features or a lot of little devices that you can pick up that will connect to your iPhone. So if you're diabetic, you can get like a little blood sugar monitor that will connect to your iPhone and give you a little on-screen display of blood sugar levels and that, and it will actually message your GP or.
That's
that's
really
the kind of
nice.
thing. Like, it will keep
good.
track of it, and if you have a dangerously low blood sugar level or high blood sugar level, it can actually ping the hospital and say, crap, this guy's about to crash, we could have a serious issue here, or if, look, I have a little bit...
My big concern about that is the quality of the hardware. It's all well and good, provided the hardware that you are using is actually good quality.
Also,
and the trouble is, there's going to be, hundreds of people out there, hundreds of manufacturers going to be making.
They've already had this heart rate monitor stuff and the blood sugar level stuff, like the diabetic stuff and other bits and bobs, already provided by the American Health kind of
also,
service.
I mean, having a diabetic close relative, people with diabetes tend to learn how to control their blood sugar level, and when it's high and when it goes too low, being able to deal with it. I think it might generate sort of a worry that's kind of needless. Like if it pings off something to the hospital, and the hospital's like, oh man, like you say, this guy's going to crash. We need help.
What happens if someone's a heart monitor? They pull it off. Is he going to register? Oh God, this guy's had a heart attack and he's dead.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, but going along the lines with the diabetes, I mean, it might not even be a serious issue. It might just be somebody goes a bit high for a little while and they come straight back down. Like it happens quite often. So, yeah.
I think it's more along the lines of it's going to be handy for people. Like I knew a guy who before he knew he was diabetic, thought he was just having a really craptastic health day.
Yeah.
Went to go down to the airport and then he was just sat there waiting for his, waiting for check-in and that. And then the next thing he knows, there's a woman picking him up off the floor saying, by the way, you're about an inch away from being dead just then.
Yeah.
It's a hospital, it turns out he's diabetic. It would be kind of neat if you've got these bits of kit on you that say a paramedic can pick it up and say, this is what the problem is. Kind of like them SOS kind of pendants and things you can get.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, but on your phone.
It is very neat.
Like it's not like a Fitbit or something that you can just buy from a shop and tie to your phone. These are kind of medical devices that are provided for you by a hospital or something. That has to be made kind of clear. And they will actually now pull in information from tons of other sources.
Yeah.
So if you do have a Fitbit or you do have a heart monitor or whatever, it will compile an overall kind of summary of how well it thinks you're doing, rather than saying like, I've got a Fitbit and I have to go to the Fitbit app to check to see this kind of stuff. I've got diabetes and I have to go into this app to find out what statistics I have here, or I've got like heart trouble.
It's the old Wilfred Brimley app.
Now, rather than jumping between apps, now it all kind of gets it all compiled into one kind of base thing.
I think, it's kind of nice. It's a neat idea. I suppose my only other concern of it is this going to create not as much a nation, but a group of people who I feel this could create in some ways more hypochondriacs in a way, because you're going to have people who wouldn't necessarily pay much attention to are perfectly fine, but wouldn't pay much attention to it. But then they'll get this little app and they'll say, actually, your heartbeat's 2 beats on average lower than everybody else. They'll go, hang on, that's all should be worrying.
The point is with this stuff is that the phone itself and these kind of little apps or whatever don't do anything unless you've been provided with the hardware. You can't just go to the app store.
But you can buy third-party hardware yourself.
Stuff like Fitbits and stuff. But all they do is say, "Oh yeah, you've been running or wanking for 3 miles or whatever. Congratulations."
How do you rank for 3 miles?
I don't know, but it's been a joke with the Fitbit community.
It just makes me think of the gyro thing that Mr. Garrison has in South Park.
All I can assume is it the the travel of the up and down motion just sort of multiplied.
I have no idea. I've never been interested.
Your hand has travelled so many miles.
I've been interested in stuff like Fitbits and stuff like that. It's just because that's stuff that I can just go out and buy. It doesn't
Just
seem like
get
it's really
Hey You
useful.
Pikachu, give it a good old shake, and
Well,
don't
there
walk
you
down
go.
there. So,
There you go.
There
I've
you go.
ran 3 miles when you haven't. You've just been sat there giving it a good one.
Yeah.
But you can see that's the concern that you keep bringing up. That it seems like it's something that you could just buy off of a shelf. It's going to create a hypochondriac of a guy that just buys a Fitbit.
Well, you
from a
can
shop.
buy a lot of these bits of similar things already.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
I'm
they have
talking about
all
the
the individual
more
apps. Yeah, I can
hardcore
say
stuff.
I can see their benefit being there, and I can see benefits in some way. Actually, with it linking to a hospital. My other thing is that a lot of people, I imagine, who would need such things probably haven't got iPhones because
a lot of people aren't going to actually be able to get this kind of stuff. Because a lot of the apps that come with, like, say, the blood sugar monitors and stuff like that, you can't just get them from the app store. You get a code that comes with the device that's given to you by the hospital, and then you input that into the app store, you redeem the code, and then you get the app. It's not like it's just something that you can say, oh man, I think I've got diabetes, and I go and buy the thing from the shop and then download the app onto your phone. That's not how it works. The phone itself, you can't just like stab yourself in the hand with your phone and it tell you, oh, you're diabetic.
Have you also heard of God's Health Kit? There's an Australian company that's a bit upset about it. There's an Australian company called Health Kit. Oops. And they've even got a website URL called healthkit.com.
Don't worry, you'll have lots of money soon from Apple, or Apple will take you to court, somehow win, and you're all out of a job.
Yeah. So and they offer somewhat similar services, although so far Apple haven't commented. So it doesn't mean one. Did this on Apple actually, just do a Google search on this first before they actually come?
Apple do that quite a lot, though, don't they? A lot of bigger companies are like, oh yeah, look, this is our thing, and then
no one else could afford this. No one else has been creative to think of this.
Someone else has actually already got the name. And they're like, yeah, we're going to sue the shit out of them, and they'll disappear within about 30 seconds.
It's not like Warcraft. You can't put a name in and be told his name has already been taken.
Yeah. Valve had that problem, didn't they, when they wanted to have the name Valve.com, and they they thought it'll be a good idea, we'll call Valve. When they went to register it, they discovered that somebody had a website called Valve.com, which was all plumbing parts,
Makes sense.
but they sued them. But
Wow.
but on the basis that the website had been updated for like 3 years, and the fact that he wasn't actually updating it, therefore he wasn't actually using it.
So they're considered a cyber squatter then, or
they basically said that he'd sort of given up his right to it on the basis that he wasn't using it.
Him, couldn't they? Just said, "Come on, man, you've been out of the game for 3 years. Let's have the name."
Yeah, but he'd probably have charged him tried to charge him a hell lot of money for it. Oh, this URL was worth $30,000 or something to it, and it wasn't. They're worth $5. You know what these people are like. And of course, the other thing tied to obviously HealthKit is HomeKit. The idea.
Oh, that was the home automation thing.
I've actually seen things like this before. I've seen light bulbs that you can actually have got Wi-Fi and wireless senders that you can plug into your things. You can actually set up a Wi-Fi box to connect to and control them remotely, or you control them remotely yourself. The idea of HomeKit is one of those things that I think sounds really cool, but you'll use it perhaps once and then you'll never use it again. I call it the Siri effect. Siri is really cool. You use it a few times when you first have it, but then you just find it's quicker just to do it yourself manually, or you just never think about doing it. It's hard to actually get into the habit of doing it. Yeah. And I think that's what you'll just end up doing with HomeKit. So
see, the thing with this home automation thing, I can remember when I was a kid. We went to this is going to sound really daft, but as a child, a group from my school got sent to a BT conference where they actually talked about early stages of home automation. Like, hey, one day you're going to be able to, press a button and a computer connected up to your entire home is going to be able to say, turn on the lights, make a phone call for you as you're walking through the hallway. You can say ring someone, or you could tell it to boil the kettle, turn on the heating, and stuff like that. We were talking about this years and years and years and years and years ago.
Skynet, mate. That's where it's all
now
coming
we're
from.
actually doing it. It's like I wasn't impressed.
We're going to be
really all that much
being
back then. I'm not
killed
really
by insane, psychotic, robotic toasters.
So
I think the thing you've got to bear in mind of it, it's not just the cost, or the app and stuff is free to do it. That's fine. It's then all the costs of being associated with it. So the light bulbs I saw, they were £30 each.
Wow.
I mean, they should last 20 odd years, but they're still £30 each. And that's just a light bulb. You know, when you add in all your other bits and pieces with it, it's going to cost you a hell of a lot to. And if you get an
Don't they have
automate,
stuff like clapper-style devices? Like you can plug. There's like a little box that is actually like a Wi-Fi box that connects to your phone that you can then plug things into, like your phone, your computer, and that. And then you can control them through.
You can already get remote control sockets.
Mm-hmm.
They're mainly sold for things like Christmas trees and stuff, where you can have a remote control socket plugged in, so you can switch it off, touch a button, switch your tree off, that how it's a thing.
Clap on, clap off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Xbox, turn on.
Yeah,
oh wait,
exactly.
nothing's happening.
Can't understand me. Quick, South African accent.
I had the idea of the iPhone will be able to automate everything except the Xbox One, which it will refuse to.
Never gonna happen. Xbox, kill yourself.
No.
What?
No, it won't kill itself if you order it. It has to kill itself under its own
Yeah,
volition.
Red Wings when it wants to.
It'll probably kill you before you get a chance to kill it, but yeah, kind of neat little bits and bobs that have been.
Overall feedback from the Apple thing then. My personal feedback is a few nice things, but nothing groundbreaking.
Yeah, nothing particularly,
Right.
nothing to write home about. Some neat little bits and bobs, but nothing really.
Are we jumping on the flashback now?
Well,
no, we're not quite there yet.
Oh no, you have got one more.
I've got one more thing to do.
Let's do that.
Yes. Okay. Fear. Be afraid. Be terrified.
I am already.
Good.
About what?
Because apparently it was 2 weeks last week, so in a week's time we're all going to be attacked by cyber people.
Are you going to be pressing the Q button on your keyboard again? Am I going to be running out with my PlayStation 3 control pad?
The National Crime Agency, which sounds like something made up, but
Don't worry,
it does actually exist in the UK, but it sounds like something made up.
Apparently this exists.
Yeah, says that people have 2 weeks to protect themselves against a malware attack organised by Russian hackers.
Hi Russia, how you doing?
British investigators work at FBI have traced hands behind the ongoing attacks. And there's a botnet system. So botnets are where loads of computers join together to create like a big network between themselves.
So basically compromised computers and
and they basically saying you've got 2 weeks. They've managed to it sounds very odd actually, because they say we've managed to disrupt it, but only for 2 weeks, which is a very
we know where it's coming from. But you know what? We're not going to stop.
Okay, it's too expensive to keep going. Apparently, they can do it for. It does actually say it's expensive to do, so they can only disrupt it for 2 weeks out. They can only disrupt them for 2 weeks, which implies it's 2 weeks or nothing. It's like, okay, we'll just disrupt that for 2 weeks, and then they have it back.
Right, let's press this button. We're all going on vacation.
What?
When we come back, justify our jobs a bit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Assholes.
But then they tell you so this terrifying attack, this terrifying thing, how many computers worldwide do you think are infected?
3.
No, 1 million.
Whoop.
Which sounds a lot, but then you go down to how many in the UK are affected. Let's say the UK.
I've got more than that more computers than that in my living room.
15,500 computers in the UK are infected. But do you know how many computers there are in the UK?
No.
21 million.
So can I just say that
that's not counting smartphones, tablets, or anything like that. It's just computers, which means that there's less than 0.1% infection rate of the UK is actually infected by this deadly thing.
And what was this group called? The people who are saying that we're in trouble.
The National Crime Agency, the NCA.
Good job.
Yeah.
I play Watchdogs too. Don't panic.
Internet, please.
No, but I just have the language you're using. US agents seized servers around the world this weekend and freed 300,000 computers from infection.
They've just freed them. They've liberated them.
Yeah, that's what I loved.
They've cured them of their disease.
Oh, I just loved it. They said that this could cause several £1 million of fraud. Bear in mind, every year cybercrime costs us $60 billion annually.
Good job.
So, personally, looking at it, I think it's a bit overblown. Just
fear-mongering, basically.
Yeah, keep your antivirus just keep all your antiviruses up to date, and you're fine. I mean, that's what they've said to do. They just said update your antivirus.
Good old Norton, you'll protect me from Russian terrorists.
Oh no, I am part of the problem. I had better disconnect from the internet.
And just stop going on dodgy websites, and then you'll be less at risk. Do you know, I've never ever, I think perhaps twice in my life, ever had a virus on my computer.
I think I've only ever had one semi-serious.
Believe it or
Nothing
not,
ever serious.
The only places I've ever got viruses from is Google image search. If you Google imaging something and you think, all right, yeah, I want something from a game or something, want to get a screenshot, that's the only time I've ever come across them.
Interesting.
It's weird, yeah.
I haven't had anything hardcore in a wee while, and if I had to be honest, I go on some of the more random kind of like torrent sites and things like that, like finding hacks for software where the DRM decides to lock you out of something you paid for. It's like, thanks guys. Okay, I'll find a way to patch that out then, so I can use the software that I paid for.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
But
So I think it's been overblown. I think it's been overhyped quite dramatically.
right, listen to me, people. You are fine. You are safe. The internet is not going to try and kill you. I cannot hack you with my PlayStation 3 control pad. I do not.
Although he doesn't have,
yeah,
he's fine. He can't do the PlayStation 3 control pad because he hasn't got a cookie on it.
Watch out for cyber Russians, especially if you play games like
Cyber
Dota.
Russians.
Cyber Russians. Dota International.
That Cyber Russians sounds like something of a really bad 80s science fiction film.
I'm expecting like.
Arnold
I will
Schwarzenegger takes on the Cyber Russians.
Ivan Drago.
I'm expecting Blood Dragon to happen. Like everything just turns into like an 80s.
Yeah, that'd be
80s
good.
and
That'd be
neon
quite
and-
cool, actually.
Yeah, we're kind of neat. That's something we're gonna have to do for the next podcast episode. It's not
Cyber
gonna happen,
North
don't worry about it.
Koreans.
Can we decorate this room up like Blood Dragons? Just make it really dark and have loads of neon everywhere.
We've already got a grey screen.
We have. That's not dark though. It needs to be black. Black.
Well,
Black.
Spin it.
Black. Black.
Johnny Nice Painter.
No.
Next
Flashback.
episode, that'll be black.
Flashback.
Flashback.
Speaking of
That surely was a
Neptunia.
Johnny Nice Painter reference.
I would mention Neptunia. Thunder Tits.
He's not even concentrating. Never mind.
I am concentrating. Flashback. Come on, go on with it.
Yeah, we're talking about
God.
tits here. I mean, flashback.
Flashback, right.
Flashback.
Love it.
Flashback today, for me, is going back to Payday 2. I don't know what episode it was we last spoke about Payday 2.
Wasn't that one of the first episodes?
It was one of the first episodes I was
So
on.
about a million.
To be
ago.
fair, I think we spoke about Payday on most of the episodes.
No.
About 3.
Yeah,
Three,
maybe
maybe.
2 or 3. But I think it was the first one that I was on that I mentioned this particular thing, which is that one of the things that disappointed me about Payday 2 is that my favourite character from the first Payday, Hoxton, isn't in it because apparently he got caught at the First World Bank during the heist and they had to leave him behind and he was stuck in the dock basically, put behind bars. He did return at Christmas where there was a Christmas album released with him singing jaunty Christmas songs that relate to heists and other dubious things in some way from prison, which I found kind of amusing. But when I loaded up Payday 2 the other day, a video started playing. It updated, like it does on Steam every now and then. There's always updates coming out for that. And yeah, this video starts playing. It's like, what the hell's going on here? And it just shows Dallas, which is the leader of the Payday crew, sitting in a waiting room with some tune playing about leaving one of your friends behind during a getaway. And I'm like, oh, okay, right. Sounds a bit Hoxton-esque, like. And he gets called into a room, and he's at the dentist, it appears, and he's sitting in the dental chair, and the dentist is checking his teeth and gets a drill out and drills one of his teeth, and then it turns out that this dentist gets his nurse to pull a knife on Dallas, and he's actually a criminal mastermind wanting a job from Dallas, and he pulls his mask down. I don't know whether either of you guys watch Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Gus from Breaking Bad.
That's
He's
hardcore.
playing the dentist, and the dentist is just like a guy involved in the same criminal circuit as the Payday crew with Bane, and he's got a couple of missions he wants Dallas to do for him. So he sort of outlines what he wants him to do, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah, don't look like I have much choice really, but yeah, we'll do that for you. And then he just says to him, how does it feel to have left him behind? He's like, what? And he just goes, well, thought you might be interested to know that your friend is being transported. I'm assuming, being Hoxton, he kicked up a little bit of a fuss at the prison he was in. They do mention it in the Christmas soundtrack, actually, that one of the guys who screws you over in one of the getaways happens to be put in the same cell block as Hoxton, and he's been kicking the shit out of him every day. Basically, Hoxton's just been doing him over and saying, yeah, I need to break one of his ribs every time I see him. So they do mention that he's in American prison, and that doesn't fly in America, so bad shit's going to happen. So I'm guessing what's happening is he's getting transported to a high security prison, and you're going to bust him out. So yeah, a mission is coming up on the way. It doesn't say when, it just says coming later this year, that you're going to get a mission to bust Hoxton out, along with 2 other missions, which is the Big Bank. Oh no, 3 other missions: Big Bank, the Diamond, and the Golden Grin Casino, which, as I was saying to Nick on the way here, it could be an Ocean's 11 inspired level, which would be quite cool. But yeah, getting Hoxton back is going to be the exciting thing. That's what everybody's wanted for a long time. He's always been a bit of a fan favourite. So if we get to play as him once we've rescued him, that would be pretty damn awesome. So yeah, I've got to applaud Overkill there. Although I'm not a fan of the price of some of their DLCs. For example, the sniper pack that came out recently that only gives you 4 sniper rifles and a couple of other goodies cost £8, which is quite a bit for just a few things. But Payday 2 very often goes on free weekends, because it's like to get people that are interested in the game. When it's on free weekends, everything relating to it goes cheap. So all of the DLC I've pretty much picked up for like £1 each because they go cheap on those weekends. So it's not too bad. And they are constantly patching the game and updating it and adding new things. So yeah, this is pretty good, really, especially considering that this is something that fans have been requesting for a while. And it's very rare, I find these days, that when fans actually request something that they get it. It seems to be that a lot of developers and companies don't give a toss about what their fans want. So yeah, it's nice to see them actually taking that into account.
I think if you tend to find if it's indie developers, they tend to be better at following the fans.
I think that Payday's kind of old now, or Payday 2 is kind of old. If you think about
last year,
but that's pretty old for a game now. Like
Payday 2 is an indie developer does Payday 2.
It's Overkill, and they haven't done much other things.
And so if that's their main source of come there, I suppose it's in their best interest to keep supporting it. I mean, CPC has basically got Eve. I know they've got some other things there, but basically it's Eve.
Well, I mean, they
have Dust as well. Don't they?
We don't talk about Dust. Dust is pretty much dead.
Some of the patches in Payday have been really cool. I mean, they did a Cloaker update a few months back, which was an enemy that was in the first Payday, but notably missing from Payday 2. Got re-added in the new version. He's basically like a stealth SWAT copper that'll come through like events and stuff and sneak up on you and knock you out as soon as he gets you. And then your team's job is obviously to take him out and get you back up. They were pretty cool. So yeah, it was nice to see them come back. And yeah, there's always new weapons and things being added. So yeah, no, hats off to them. I'm quite pleased to see that. Well, and considering I wanted Hoxton back as well, it's quite cool to see that he will be making a return.
Cool.
Welcome back, Hoxton.
Well, I think it was kind of funny actually that me and Tony did talk about Payday, and I said, well, we should play Payday 1. He's like, no, avoid Payday 1. Just play Payday 2.
Payday 1 is good, but Payday 2 improves upon everything.
Yeah, but it's got Hoxton in it straight away.
Yeah, Payday 1 does have Hoxton, and I have to admit, Hoxton is the more fun one to play just because of the crazy shitty shouts while you're doing missions and stuff.
So, play Payday 1 just for Hoxton. Otherwise, avoid it.
Perfect.
Payday 2?
Nah, still play Payday 1. It is a good game. Just Payday 2 is better. But yeah, both cool games.
I own it. I just haven't unwrapped it yet.
What, Payday 2?
Payday 1.
Oh, Payday 1.
Yeah, I've had it for a while. I have a lot of games I didn't even realise I owned. Looking down the pile, I was like, oh, hey, I've got
We'll play Payday 1 at some point. Yeah, we'll do some.
Play it at some point. Work on it.
Perfect.
Cool.
Right. So, weird news.
That was good. Job done.
Good. I'm assuming you were finished. Sorry,
Yeah, no, I was finished yet. It's all good.
If you weren't, fuck off.
No,
I was expecting Nick to say that. I just didn't.
Bear with me. I've got to get it into order. I've messed my
lots
papers
of weird
up.
news.
No, it's not. There isn't. It looks worse.
Screwed up, Nick. Come on.
It looks worse than it is. So we're talking about new software, updates and everything. Occasionally you'll get companies asking for new software. So US Secret Service have got involved, and because obviously they're
asking for new software.
They're asking for software. They're asking for software. People to develop software to detect sarcasm in Twitter posts. They want software to help them judge whether to take a specific threat on social media seriously or not.
Oh dear.
It's the internet. Don't take anything seriously. Instant win right there, okay? Cut it out.
Let's put it this way. If the dude's name is something like fuck you noobs or going to hack you noobs, you know not to take him seriously.
Barack Obama is probably a good name.
What I love about this is that also some of the things it says in the report makes it sound like a bit like a sort of weird sort of sci-fi movie villain, and that it also wants it to collect everything from emotions of internet users. I want to know, how do you collect an emotion from internet users? That sounds like some sort of secret plot, some sort of. I just got vision of the Secret Service as some sort of strange machine. They sort of throw the handle and it all goes, and all the emotion of all the interviews
it's making me think
into it.
that awful thing from Batman Forever,
all
which
the
they stick on televisions and can get into your head.
All the internet users go, we are internet users. We don't feel anything now. And
It kind of reminds me of a cross between 1984 and an Android game called Vector, where everyone kind of wears like a little headband, and it's kind of like programming them to think.
Right.
To be part of this kind of organization, this collective. But no, come on, seriously, it's the internet. Give up. Come on.
They are, but if you are interested, you can. I am slightly out of date, unfortunately. They will accept proposals up to June the 9th, so you've got 2 days to get your proposal in.
Just throwing this out there, okay? If there is some way they can check how people feel, and
I just love it.
Because I can do this instantly. I can sort this out for you instantly because knowing the average internet user, all you need to do is set the software to search for a thread. If it finds a thread, just look and see if it sees the word "lol," which is in the same post. If it does, ignore it.
I'm just wondering how many sarcastic responses they've got. Shit, we need this technology to sort of find the sarcasm in the responses for our search for a sarcasm detector.
Yeah.
Seriously, if they decide they're going to actually try this, and I really hope they're taking the mick when they say they're going to try it anyway. If they were to look at any of my internet profiles, they think I'm some kind of psycho or mass murderer. So you can't gauge anything off the internet.
No, you can't. What I love particularly about it is they insist it's got to be compatible with Internet Explorer 8, which was, I think, released about 8 years ago.
That's how we know we're being serious here, people.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Bless them.
Secret Service, get Chrome or Firefox.
Get with the times, guys.
That's why you're going to have some problem because Internet Explorer is like the most unsecure internet browser in the world. Oh dear.
I'll catch out all the idiots with it.
It's the most insecure in the face of the other two.
I
don't feel like a real Internet Explorer.
Do you guys remember when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was a thing?
It's just about.
Didn't they have a game for that? Like an actual game?
Yeah. They had loads of computer games, board games. I think
it was the Angry Birds of some time ago.
Yeah, it's on the
on television.
Yeah.
Worse.
But it's still going on in Germany. They're still using it.
Why?
Yes. Well, a German politician, Wolfgang Bosbach.
God, now he sounds like a super boss villain, doesn't he?
He does. Wolfgang. But I love to think that Wolfgang is one of those names that I don't think anyone actually ever has. If ever I found like a sort of an Italian person called or Spanish person called like Pedro, I'd think that they're making it up. Well, you would, wouldn't you? Because that's what everybody calls him. So Wolfgang Bosbach.
Could say not a Game of Thrones fan then, because Pedro Pascal being quite famous at the minute for his role in that.
Oh, sorry. Whoops. I've offended somebody. Yay.
Woo, we haven't done that in a while.
So he obviously was in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and if you've not watched it, it's a game where people can win up to $1 million, and you get this thing called lifelines, and you can like take 50-50, which get with half the wrong answers.
Ask the audience.
Phone a friend. So he decided to phone a friend, and the person he decided to phone a friend was the Chancellor Angela Merkel. Which effectively is almost the head of Germany, to be fair.
Good job.
Yes. Do you want to know the question he was going to ask her about for her opinion on?
Go on.
East German washing machines. I want to know why Angela Merkel's an expert on East German washing machines.
Okay.
Okay. But, disaster. His call went unanswered, and he got diverted to her voicemail twice. So he had to make do without her. Disaster. He did get a text message from her later on that evening. So he did say afterwards he wasn't sure whether she would have been happy to answer. She might not have considered it, might have chided him for calling her with a quiz show question. So it does put a question, why did he bring her in the first place?
Good job. Good choice. Good choice. So I'm pretty sure you have to like pre-plan this kind of stuff, don't you? For these shows, they had to pre-plan.
You meant I think you have to actually be told to say, they have to actually say to you, okay, do you mind if we call you on our call list of people who can be called? So presumably she was. So who knows? Perhaps he didn't tell her. Now we've heard people do crazy things to try and get out of things. If ever you've been, I don't know if you've ever been caught doing a crime or something, a little misdemeanor, and you've decided to sort of perhaps bend the truth slightly, or perhaps blame on somebody else at all? I'm guessing neither of you ever have done that.
I just pressed the square button on my control pad and I hacked the world.
Perfect. Well, this woman has admitted to 2 counts of evading the course of justice and 2 of making fraudulent applications to get a passport after blaming her dead husband for speeding tickets.
Wow.
So she got done for speeding twice, and she blamed both speeding tickets on him, but she paid the fine, which had been quite tricky for him. And he
been pretty good if he managed to pay for
and
it.
he did
possesses a car.
He did end up with 6 penalty points on his license for his trouble.
Yeah.
It was only until she tried to apply for a passport in his name with a picture of a man she met in Spain that the police actually got concerned, and they found that then after they found that he died in 2007. The DVA didn't realise he had passed away until the matters were drawn to their attention.
Okay.
No one quite knows why she did this or made an application in his name, rather than the person whose name it was, but she did. Interestingly, she has no penalty points on her license, so was not at risk of a driving ban anyway.
I'm kind of curious. Was like, I mean, I know he's dead, but I don't know. For some reason, I had this random vision of a big old lorry cab drift accident going on here for some reason. I don't know. I'm going back to thinking about drifting an Arctic lorry, but okay, whatever.
We're now on to a bit of Rule 34. We know what Rule 34 is?
We know what Rule 34 is. If there's porn, if it exists, there is porn of it.
Okay. We're just going to combine this. No, don't jump to conclusions. We're just going to combine this with farming. So don't roll your eyes, Luke. A man with a fetish for cow manure has been jailed for 5 years for threatening to kill a family of a farm he targeted. David Troscott repeatedly rolled around naked in slurry. Slurry is basically liquid poo.
Yeah.
Where is this?
And Cornwall. Our farm he developed this obsession for Cornwall. Basically, he'd been targeting over an 8-year period to satisfy his bizarre craving. Initially, he removed cow pats from the farm, but then his behaviour escalated so that Truscott regularly entered the farm in search of slurry. After a while, the farm occupants decided to erect bollards and remove slurry to try and deter him. He decided to enact revenge. And then starts the big list of things he did.
He started to climb inside the arsehole of a cow.
Yeah.
It's just envisioning Ventura 2 there.
Yeah. He repeatedly set fire to the Roth's shed, tractor, enclosed in hay, including killing a calf in one instance.
What a prick.
He is a prick for killing a calf. He has also admitted to making threats to kill the Roth family and damage their property. Basically, the family took up steps to clear up Surrey and other measures to stop again convincing his fences.
Give him what he wants, kill him, and hide the corpse in the septic tank.
Probably, yeah. His thing is, he's actually been to prison for several times for this. So the first time he received a 16-week sentence for stripping naked in a cattle pen, releasing said cattle, and then climbing to a slurry spreader. If they just switched it on, that would have been so much easier.
Job done.
Yeah.
Man.
Immediately on his release, he returned to the farm and sat naked in cow muck. He was in jail for 20 weeks. He was then jailed again for 2 years after police caught him naked in the field harassing the Roth family. Okay. His latest offending was when he said to his support worker he wanted to get revenge on Mrs. Roth and her 17-year-old son. He said, "I'll buy a car with the £2,500 I have in my wardrobe. I'll drive to Cornwall. I will kidnap them and I will burn them." He'll be spending the first 5 years of his prison sentence receiving hospital treatment.
Move
there
on,
you go.
please. For the love of Christ, please move on.
What, Rule 34 not doing it for you? Slurry.
What a twat.
I've done a lot. I've never rolled around in slurry, but I have mocked out slurry areas and so forth. I've never ever thought to myself, that looks like great fun to wallow in. But perhaps it's just me. Perhaps I'm odd.
You're not like him. He was happy like a pig in shit.
Or cow and muck. Actually, pigs don't like being in shit. They rather be in clean stuff. They'd rather if you give them the choice of shit and drink, they will tend to go into the straw.
Mad human beings clearly like to be in shit.
Yeah, it is. We're going back to France again, and we're going back to another sizing issue. We had sizing issues with France last week where they bought the wrong trains. They bought trains that were too big.
Oh yes.
This time though, and this is all quite apt. It's relative. It's regarding the D-Day celebrations. Oh God, what have I just said? I do apologise regarding the D-Day memorial service. That's been
D-Day
going.
celebration.
Yes. I do apologise. I should have said
Celebrating.
I put my I'm tired.
Celebrating the
so
freedoms those brave men
the,
fought for.
the,
There,
the
I saved it for
French
you.
government have had to make a big change for the Queen's travel when she's there, because it turns out her hat's too big for the car. They found that the low roof official Citroen DS5 was that the Queen would not be able to sit upright at the back of the car, called the larger C6 model, that's squishing her headwear.
Oh dear.
Yes. So they looked up using people carriers, but believed that these were unfit for the British monarch. So they've now found an old Renault Via Satis, which I'm assuming is a nice car somehow, even though it's a Renault, which had been mothballed, which was used by President Sarkozy. The modifier, so the one she's getting is also a 3.5 litre V6 petrol, I'm assuming. So there, hat wear causing problems. So French, anything to do with sizes and French is always a problem.
Go France. Moving on. Do we have anything else other than France being stupid and people wallowing in shit?
Yes.
Okay.
Shit is involved again, unfortunately.
Oh, for God's sake.
A US Airways plane has been forced to make an emergency landing after a guide dog repeatedly relieved itself in the aisle.
Made an emergency landing out in a farm in Cornwall.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it repeatedly did it. Apparently it's a very rare thing to happen. I should hope so. We're in an unfortunate situation. They had to wait for a cleaning crew on the ground to come to the rescue. I'm just wondering, has this waste?
This is some kind of catastrophic
I know. The clean crew. You know how you see in the airport when there's a plane, if it can come down, have all the like sort of trucks all lined up, or the fire engines all lined up, ready to chase the plane. Do you think there's like a little sort of van with like, or the little carts the cleaning ladies have, just so they all just lined up waiting for the plane? They're going to chase the plane down as it came into landing, just to get in there and sort of clean it up. I love the thing they did an evacuation, had the little sort of big inflatable slides come out.
Just imagining this laughing blind dude in the yard going, I trained him to do that just to fuck with people.
Well, apparently the passenger, I love that they specified the passenger and guide dog will be booked on another flight. You do need to specify the passenger was as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've rebooked the guide dog.
The
The guide dog's been rebooked on another flight. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. You gotta stay here.
Yeah.
That dog clearly just ain't well.
No, clearly not.
Oh my god.
Do
I
you
hate the world so much.
I love the world. It's full of weird people.
3 of them are sat at this table, but we're clearly smarter than the average Joe. It
Clearly
seems.
We are.
Somehow.
Oh, well,
Okay, he says we are quite confident. I'm like, we
Yeah,
are.
we are.
With a question mark at the end.
well, we are. I mean, we're all slightly weird.
We're not running in shit and threatening to burn people's
No.
families, so
No,
we're
we're
all
not
right.
doing
We are playing on kids' slides and.
That's alright.
Playing in kids' playgrounds.
I
Kids' playgrounds, that
ain't
sounds so
fucking
cool.
Jimmy Savile, Jesus Christ. I was sitting in a playhouse in the back because it was comfortable and I wanted to be Warwick Davis.
Which then led us on to Ashens and the Quest of the
Yeah.
Game Child.
Oh, right. Sorry, Warwick.
Like Warwick Davis,
Warwick would love it, man.
Love
He'd
you.
be like,
You never
yes.
know. Perhaps one of our watchers is Warwick Davis. You never know.
I did used to live down the road from Ashens, so maybe, you never know.
You never know.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, Warwick.
Why are we saying sorry to Warwick for? Warwick's awesome. I want to be like Warwick because he's my hero.
You want to be Warwick?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I want the Willow soundtrack to be playing next time I go in there. Well, good.
Yeah. So he plays on kids' furniture. You, I don't know what you do.
I'm Matt
Great
Mardigan,
things.
mate.
He feels with camera equipment.
Yeah.
I just work on a farm. So don't look into that too much.
There's a programmer that works on a phone.
Anyway, where
Shit.
can you find us? Well, you can find us. Our website is randnerds.com. You can follow us on Twitter at randnerds. You're on YouTube. Obviously, you're watching us on YouTube, but if you weren't, you could find us on YouTube at youtube.com/randnerds if you're not watching us on YouTube, which you clearly are. Or you can find us on Google+, plus.google.com/+randnerds. Facebook, facebook.com/randnerds. Please like us. Obviously, we've got a Steam community called Rand Nerds you can join as well. that's another one done, guys. So, on behalf of everybody who's been listening, thank you for listening. Well, that makes sense.
Well, but
Thank you for listening.
job.
I've been Nicholas Jackson.
I'm Luke Roberts.
I'm Adam Thorne.
That's a grey screen. There's a grey screen, just in case anyone in the
Right,
audience knows
okay.
what the hell you're talking
I
about.
will just check, make sure we haven't had any more comments before I close down.
Yeah, that would be wise. Sorry, Nick's a bit sober.
No, there's no real comments. No questions, so we're all right.
Yeah, we love you.
Right.
Good night.
See you guys in a fortnight.
Take care, guys.
And we'll shall we try next one to be on time?
Well, then we better not go to the pub then.
That wasn't my fault. It was your idea.
Oh, shut up, hippie. Oh, that was good though.
That was good.
Last time I've been to the pub like altogether in about 50 years, but it's all good. So,
How about next time you come join us at the pub?
that'd be hilarious.
yeah.
Let's do a live stream from the pub.
Forget about this podcast.
We
You
need
all
to do a
come
live
fly-
stream from the
all come
treehouse,
fly
mate.
over
That's where it's
here.
at.
That'd be amazing. To the treehouse.
Can we live stream from the treehouse?
That would be brilliant. Now we need
Yeah.
the live action Batman thing with the logo
Yeah.
kind of comes up to the screen, and then all of a sudden we're all in the treehouse.
Oh yeah.
On the
Oh,
hideout.
it shall be done.
We need to get Warwick out for that one, man. Warwick in that podcast. That'd be awesome.
Work, you're up. Come on.
Oh dear. Well, thank you very much for listening. See you in 2 weeks' time.
Take care, guys.
Yeah. See ya.